are no ghosts. So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see. Let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel.
Gross.
Nothing.
Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as a ghost, there's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test.
Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested.
Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake.
I think
we
Jake
found
do
the
that?
ghost.
Jake won't let you see your mentions. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because this is, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, I mean, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof. Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off, and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings,
Yeah.
shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer?
Hey, how's it going, Street Fighters? Welcome to the stream. We're glad you're here. Sunday night, you know what that means. Regardless of what's happening, it's time for a street fight. Unless we're on tour, we're here to take calls and talk to people. The number to dial is 614-655-3887. We are here under quarantine, under this new coronavirus landscape that we're in. And want to hear from all y'all that have something to say. And tonight we have special guest Gwen in the studio taking calls with us because she is not going to go to school tomorrow.
No school for 3 weeks.
No school. We are still going to do the show because bosses are still being fucking horrible at this time of need in the country. And so we're taking calls tonight. Once again, it's 614-655-3887. We're Street Fight Radio. And if you got extra time and you want something to do, head over to patreon.com/Street Fight Radio. You can get access to a couple dozen zines, a fucking 40 videos or something. We're going to complete Some Kind of Monster, the Metallica documentary this week. There's premium audio. Brian's doing March Madness right now about, sports hosts. So all of that stuff is still available, and as always, we will continue on doing the show. We did a fundraising stream last night on Twitch, so we're gonna keep that stuff exclusively on Twitch until we become a partner. But twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio, we did a fundraising stream for the Columbus Mutual Aid Fund, and we raised like $160. Brian and I played with the Street Fight Wives, the board game Pandemic, for a few hours. Thank you everybody that showed up and donated money. We really appreciate it. So, my name is Brett. My co-host is Brian. We're the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. How are things going, Brian?
Well, here's the thing. Weird. Things are very fucking weird right now. They closed all bars in Columbus, starting at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yes.
You can only get takeout. My daughter is not going to school, and she's sitting here with us taking calls on a Sunday night. Who knows what she's going to say. We'll have the Zoomer perspective, at least on this show. And I don't even know how to. I'm like trying to figure out what this is. You know what I mean? I'm like trying to figure out how long this is gonna be, because I said this a couple weeks ago or earlier in the week on Thursday. Because we did street fighting, and Thursday is when everything kind of went sideways, and like in my mind, I think that capitalism and empire tries to right itself as quickly as possible. Like they try, because capitalism demands infinite growth and demands that economic activity constantly be occurring. that I think I just assumed that, like, you know, it'd be a weird, like, week and a half and then everything goes back to normal. But it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it's probably going to right away. They're saying 8 weeks now, which puts Hellfire at risk. Maybe if it's 8 weeks, it might just put Philly at risk. But it is it's very strange to be a performer in these times, I guess, because your job, standing on stage, is kind of put on hold. But
I'm not trying to throw a fit about not having enough money coming in, but it is definitely a concern because we were relying on a lot of this stuff, you know. So I guess for me, I've moved from the ultimate skeptic position. And now I do think that the quarantine makes sense to me. I've read more about places where it's hit harder in like Italy and stuff like that. And I think that this is going to be a very weird, you know, period of time. But, you know, I talked to my doctor and they were saying that, like, you know, 6 weeks is what has been the beneficial thing to do. So we are in completely new territory, though, because I have not lived through something like this before. I have,
nobody has.
This is a first for me.
This is a first for everybody.
And it is in a way, like you said, it's very different because once they were like, we're not going to do March Madness, I'm like, come on, but you still want to make money?
Yeah.
Right? It's once they said they weren't going to do all of these high dollar things, it became very real, and that, you know, this is a very serious thing.
Yeah, I guess what I want to say about the money thing for us, because a lot of people have been asking me how they can support us through this time. We have a lot of shirts to sell in the store, and barring that, you know, Patreon, you can get on our Patreon. We're going to give you a bunch of links, but also we're going to run a lot more streams, and you know, some of it's we're going to run them to replace the live shows, and hopefully we can make some really cool shit happen on the streams. Me and Brett are going to play video games together. We're going to play Block by Block with the Streetwives again, and
well, let me say this also as well, is that I may not have lived through this before, but what was exciting is that you said on Thursday night is when things started, the hammer started coming down. That was also when the Columbus Mutual Aid Fund started on Facebook. That was also another group was created to feed children. So I signed up for my zip code. Any kids in the area that need food, I can make lunch for them and go deliver it. So we haven't had the ability to connect on this level before during something like this. And I think that is an added element of comfort for me in seeing that everybody has stepped up. Food Not Bombs on Saturday, their fucking van got stolen, and like 16 motherfucking minivans showed up on Saturday to help them transport things. So, you know, people are in it. We're all together. I think that, you know, even your estranged neighbors, we're in this together. I think that, like, humanity always wins out no matter what, but it is quite wild to see a Republican governor of the state say that he's going to give unemployment benefits to anybody that needs them. Like, that seems like that makes my alarms go off, you know?
Well, I've been saying, I think one of the things that's been very heartening to me is the, not heartening, it's scary, right? I'm an anarchist, and I will always be one, and I will always believe in horizontal organization as much as you can possibly get it, you know? And America is doing this without the federal government's help. The federal government is being like zero help. It is showing how useless it is but that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like every state is having to deal with this differently. That's part of what's making it really hard for us to decide what to do about our live gigs and shit. Because it's like Florida's doing things one way, Ohio's doing things one way, Georgia is fucking finding people and testing them, and if they have it, taking them out into the middle of a national park and making them stay there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
everybody's doing different things. You know what I mean? And in a real world, you know, I was just watching the debate before I got here, but Bernie Sanders actually said this. He's like, you know, if we had like single payer healthcare, we would have a system. There would be a system in this.
Right.
Currently, we have all these private insurance companies and all these private doctors and all these private hospitals, and it's a bunch of systems, and none of them are working.
And even beyond that, the system that we have now is designed to keep people out. Like, we're designed to handle the privileged few that get access to the system. We're more about setting up limitations on the access to care so that people can't have it. When something like this happens to all of us, then all of us need health care. If there was an already established healthcare system that was designed to be ready for every single one of us instead of the privileged few, we would be further away from crisis, you know.
Able to, at least it would be easy, there would be a system in place to figure this thing out. I mean, me and Brett were hanging out last night before the stream and with our wives, and we were looking at pictures of O'Hare Airport yesterday where they were testing people who came in through customs, but they weren't doing it fast enough. So there were thousands of people standing in the hallway of this airport. And it's like, this seems like the wrong way to do this, you know? I mean, we should just be testing everybody, you know? That's the way to do it. You fucking drive through testing facility. You go in, you get tested, you get a text, you find out if you have it. If you have it, you quarantine. If you don't, you're fine. Yeah. And that would be the way to handle this. And that seems like something that could be put into place relatively quickly if the president wasn't Donald Trump.
Sure.
And the federal government wasn't.
Chat asked if there's more gumballs. No, there isn't any more gumballs and stupid asshole shirts being made ever again. That was a bad idea to make those shirts.
Did they all sell?
There's still one. There's still one right here.
Okay, so we sold
There's
all but one.
XL.
Yeah.
Right, but not as much interest as the other ones.
That's true.
So, that's a collector's item. So, tonight in the studio, we do have special guests. Another youth correspondent.
The youthiest of all of them, I think.
The youngest youth correspondent we have at Street Fight Radio. Welcome to the stream, Gwen.
Thank you.
How are things going?
Pretty good.
Where's your head at right now as a young person?
Kind of, I don't know. It's really confusing. It's like really weird.
Are you still talking to your friends nonstop?
Yeah.
You're just chatting, like sharing anxieties? Or
we're all hanging out. Like
hanging
no
out?
One's quarantined really in our neighborhood.
I love that. It's great. You'll have each other.
We're sharing it. We're sharing the virus.
Well, you're hanging out together in real life? Or
Yeah.
I
Like
thought you
last
meant on
night
the
I was
phones.
with my friend.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But that you also, we as a friend group, we also got together to have pizza and stuff on Friday night because we're just like the die together types, I guess, right? Like it's like I'm not gonna not be around my friends. I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna have to hang out with my buds during this. I won't go to the club, but how are you handling this? How are you gonna handle this time off school?
I'm probably gonna sleep a lot. I've already taken a lot of naps. I don't really have any plans.
Me and Gwen
not even any series you plan to binge or anything
Me
like
and
that?
G-Dog have two plans. Two movie plans now, right?
I don't know one of them.
We're going to watch Parasite, and we're going to watch Borat.
Oh!
Because I didn't know where that quote
Very
was.
nice.
I didn't know where that was from. We made my teacher start saying it, though.
Your teacher says very
Yeah.
nice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to watch Borat and Parasite at the very least together. So we got that going on. Borat, one of the funniest movies you'll ever see. It's crazy how funny that movie
Okay,
is.
I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes you overhype the movies we watch.
How was Superbad?
I don't... Oh, that one was good.
Yeah.
Superbad's good.
Yeah.
Borat, I don't know. Here's the thing. Borat is going to be like unlike anything you've ever seen in your life, and either you're going to like just seize up in fear and like not understand what you're seeing, or you're going to just like lose your mind laughing the whole time because it just keeps escalating. It's a lot,
and it's very funny. It's very weird.
And
it's a very weird movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real
It's
people.
funny because what's happening currently, that's nice to have you in here because it can get us off of the depressing stuff. What is happening with them is like TikTok
Yeah.
happens and somebody or a lot of people on TikTok like watch them.
Tic-tac.
I knew.
Tic Tacs. I used to take those to freshen my breath. What's a Tic Tac?
But they'll start quoting movies, and then that movie becomes important.
Yeah.
And then these kids have to go back and watch these movies that we watched.
Yes.
That are now like when my dad made me watch Animal House, which I hated. I hated that movie. But our act
At least allowed to have a little bit of ironic distance from like modern life and stuff. Like
Yeah.
so, it was like it's not as silly. It's not as silly. It's more. It's smarter, I guess. in a
I'm
way.
scared we won't have any good movies to show our kids.
Oh, that's not true.
I can't think of a good one.
You know
Okay.
what? We thought that
Like
when
a
we,
funny one. I don't. No one likes them.
Which
you
one?
do?
You disrespect them.
Ragnarok?
You hate
Remember
those.
Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, you like that one.
You liked it too, motherfucker.
You
Don't
are-
act like you didn't like it.
That's
I
true.
did like it.
Seriously, like 20 years from now, you'll be able to like force your kid to watch 30 fucking Marvel movies and be like, "It's the best story ever told," though, and they're not going to believe you at all. They're going to be like, "This sucks ass."
Like how many people freak out?
Yeah, you're going to force them. Yeah, you're going to force them to watch all those movies. That is a good one. I mean, it was a big accomplishment. I don't know if they're the momentum going, but the amount of
They're
Marvel
losing it.
content that they made, and you were in the prime kid range for that.
Yeah, she came
It makes
up
sense now.
right when it took off. Like
Yeah.
she was too young for Iron Man. 'Cause
Right.
She was only like 3 or 4.
I never watched it.
Yeah. But when did we start going to Guardians of the Galaxy or the one before
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And we started going to those things and she likes them. It's weird. Gwen,
A lot of people
I
don't.
think the thing that you will have for your kids, if you have them, right? Horror movies. Because
I love
you
those.
will have. There have been very good horror movies. There have
You
been
have Get Out. Yeah, I mean,
The
Get Out
Purge?
and Us.
I like the
Purge
The
movies.
Purge.
I'll
will be
make them
good,
watch that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies for.
I feel like we have more TV shows.
Okay,
That's
I'm gonna
true.
backtrack. I'm gonna backtrack my objection to that. I think you're right. I think because those are a great way to like think about scary stuff, and it seems that the future just gets more scared of the future. So you're gonna be like, oh, you're scared of that. We grew up on The Purge. I watched that when I was a baby. That's what you'll get to do as like a grandma.
I do believe her. I do believe when Gwen says they don't really have comedies.
No.
Because they don't make crude comedies
They
anymore.
also like sad stuff. Like everything. Like I feel
That's
like a lot
you.
of our stuff is sad.
No, that's just you. You're just a
I
fucking
feel like a
weirdo
lot of
when
it's
it comes.
sad.
No, I agree with
Like
you.
books now, everyone's dead.
I agree. No, I agree. I think it all took a dystopian turn. Everything became like people surviving after everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Which I think is jumping the gun a little bit.
Or like their whole family dies and they're like now an orphan. And
Right.
that's like the whole movie.
Right.
Or book. I read
Yeah.
a lot of sad books.
But, you know, that's also part of it. Like, even us that are in like relative comfort, we still can't stop our monkey brains from thinking about the absolute worst circumstances that we could be in. You know, like that's, in a way, it comforts you. It's like, you know, you could also be struggling to survive in like a really post-apocalyptic landscape instead of just having to eat all the food that's in your cabinets right now.
Yeah, you're
you know?
right. You're right.
Yeah, she's really. I think like that's been a thing I've been fascinated with. I'm glad you're here tonight
Thank
because we
you.
aren't doing team fight anymore. But I have had some stuff that I thought I would bring here, and for me, you, and Brett to talk about. I think we can get this out. What is it with? Is this a girl thing? The sad stuff? Is it just like because like I in
Boys
my
get sad.
whole life?
Boys can get sad.
I'm not
Boys can get
saying
sad.
I'm
Sad
not saying get sad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that almost all of Gwen's entertainment choices are sad,
That's not true.
and they make her cry.
They don't make me cry anymore. I don't cry at movies anymore.
Make you tough, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
What's the last movie you
Um,
watched? Because you told me about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a sad movie.
Yeah. What? Tell
didn't cry,
listeners
though.
what it was about.
Basically, this girl, her sister dies, and then she tries to kill herself, and then this boy finds her and is like, don't do it, don't jump off the bridge. And then he gets to know her, breaks her out of her shell. He then kills himself.
Oh shit!
Who would watch that?
That sounds amazing.
It's really good. It's really interesting.
Whoa.
Watch it. It's called In All the Bright Places, In All the Bright Places.
Don't
That's
watch
on Netflix. It's
who
really
would
good.
I'm into it.
There's
That was
character
tight,
development. There's you get to know the characters. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, there was a I watched this anime recently, and one of the main characters gets stabbed through the back in a way that like you never thought was gonna happen, and I'm like, wait, are they dead? And like, yeah, that character just fucking died like on the screen right now. Yeah, so I mean that makes sense.
I don't think it's a girl thing.
Let me just say, I just think it's an odd choice. You watch the books she reads too. She reads a lot of books where it's like, oh yeah, I'm reading a book. It's about like an orphan who gets adopted, and then the parents who adopt it punch it in the face every day when they get up, and then the orphan finally gets out and like has a triumphant moment, and then dies of cancer. It's like, I don't. What is this?
Here's what I'm going to approximate.
Development.
This isn't well thought out, but I'm just going to approximate this. Like the anxieties of being a woman in the world, and that you could be subjugated to like some sort of crime, or someone could do something crazy to you. I agree that all of the podcasts that are about true crime and stuff are a lot of women that just are thinking about how eventually some man's going to kill them someday. Like out of nowhere, some guy's just going to follow them home and fucking murder them.
Katie watches a lot.
And so then the scope is you watch movies where 180 people get murdered and you don't think about it. The scope for them is brought down to one individual life. If you had to watch 180 movies about all of the bad guys that your hero killed, you'd be fucking weeping. You'd be weeping. Those people have bills. The guys that are fighting John Wick they're doing that for money. They're not doing that for fun.
But he's avenging his dog and his girl.
Who gives a shit? Is a dog's life worth more than my family's whole family?
He doesn't kill civilians.
He kills
them. The bad guys.
Other guys doing their jobs.
Yes, he does.
Independent contractors.
I agree.
He's an independent contractor.
I think the thing about it is though, like the things I watch where 180 people get killed, I watch them. And they're a good, joyful, fun time because I don't know anything about the people getting killed.
Oh, boy, if you found out.
If I knew, but
one of them had trinkets in their pockets that their grandfather passed down to them. That was like this precious item. Right, like they all have beautiful individual stories. They all have a beautiful human life.
I don't want to
snuffed out by fucking Bruce Willis.
But I don't want to know that, right? So I watch movies that are not sad, movies that have a sense of humor.
Your movies are kind of sad.
And no, I don't watch any sad movies at all.
The guys like avenging someone, like they show the story of like them, something like beating them down so much that they have to start murdering people.
Yeah.
For joy. Like it's kind of sad.
Yeah, but then
that's our lives though.
It's like sad.
Honestly, as dads, like we just sit around and think about the day that we have to get pushed to the edge where we have to kill somebody for you. Like we don't want to be killers. But, like, also we have to live with the knowledge of, like, we have a kid, we have a wife, we have to be willing to, like, shove our thumbs into someone's fucking eye sockets if they come too close to y'all. Right? Like, we have to like, balance that rage. That's the daily life of a dad.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Someday you'll be a dad and you'll understand. You'll just be up at night and thinking like how you would snap anyone's neck that dared come into your house.
Well,
it just fills you with like a lot of stress.
It's just really funny because like I think the thing that you guys are getting totally fucking wrong about what I like, you know? There's something you're getting fucking totally wrong about this. I enjoy fight choreography.
He's an artist.
No, I'm not saying I'm an artist.
He's in a ballet.
I am saying that there is a great amount of artistry happening in the movies that I watch where people get killed. Now, the movies that Gwen watches, they're just sitting on beds and stuff and just being sad.
How many of them have you watched?
I'm never gonna. I can't. I watched My Girl when I was like.
That's a sad
yeah,
one.
that one gets
Didn't
you.
see it coming. I didn't.
I cried. At
I
the
did
end of it.
too.
And let me tell you,
I sobbed actually in my mom's lap.
Can I give you some historical context on that? That movie was after Home Alone. So it's like you had only ever seen this kid as Home Alone, and you're like, this guy's this kid's a celebrity. What a beloved guy. And he fucking gets killed? It's like, fuck! And that bummed me out. I watched it, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to watch any more of these ever again.
I do like the heart-wrenching movies. Erica's into it, and I definitely have leaned into, like, I like a good sad movie where just something absolutely horrible happens, and people have to you have to make do, because it is seriously, that's what life is like, things will happen that are like unbelievable, that are awful, but you don't just like lay down and die. You make things happen. Like, you keep moving along. You have to deal with a new circumstance. But I'm gonna watch this movie.
Watch it.
Yeah, it sounds like a
watch
fucking
it.
tearjerker.
It's insane. The kid is like actually crazy.
Yeah. Well,
So coming soon, the Gwen and Brett review.
In all the bright places.
I'm not watching. I fucking
Please
out.
watch it.
No,
I want to. Yeah, I'm into
I can't do it.
I liked it. At
I
first
gotta
I was
watch-
like, this is real sad and weird. But then
Yeah.
I watched it and I enjoyed it.
How many movies? What? Like, what do you want to see right now? We were supposed to go see The Invisible Man, but the Sea Boy showed up, so we can't.
I don't
So,
know what you mean.
Coronavirus.
Sea Boy.
Sea Boy.
I
That's
was
what
like,
I'm
who's
calling it.
that? I
Is
don't
there
know what's
anything you
out
wanna
right
see?
now. We
Okay,
can't really go to the
yeah.
movie theater.
Yeah, we wanted to go see The Invisible Man really bad, and then we
Movies
just
are
didn't get to do it.
There's a new Invisible Man.
Yeah, dude.
There is.
And it looks
Ew.
scary as shit because Peggy from Mad Men, Elizabeth Moss.
I just watched a really scary movie,
And-
actually.
What'd you watch?
It was just like this German movie that was dubbed over
Oh,
in
no.
English, and
Oh,
it was
no.
like them just like kidnapping a woman.
Okay.
And me and my friends all
Yeah,
watched
that's
it. It was real intense.
See, that's
She came out triumphant.
That's good. That's good. There's a lot of movies. Some of the older horror movies are just scary in a way that are more like someone just breaking into your house versus like a fucking demon from outer space or whatever it is. You know?
She was just snagged.
What's it called?
It's on Netflix.
We had
I can look
bagels
for it.
delivered the other day, and Gwen wouldn't go out to the porch to get it because she heard human traffickers put bags on the porch, and then
Not
when the
on the
people come to
porch.
get it,
Not bags.
they steal the kid. So she was
Okay.
like,
My
I'm
mom
waiting for my
talks
mom to
about
get
human
up."
trafficking
She does.
often,
Your
so
mom
I'm
does
like,
go off on that stuff.
I'm allowed to go to
That's
school
true.
to get my things.
I mean, it worries
tomorrow.
me too. So, all right, let's. It's time to take some calls. Let's take some calls.
I have to go to school tomorrow, by the way.
No, you don't.
For what?
To get supplies. We have to get our stuff from our lockers in case school doesn't happen again.
You got 2 fucking
One is
feet?
allowed in at the time. One kid at a time allowed in the school.
No way.
Yeah.
So they're gonna make
From 9 to
they're
2
gonna-
p.m.
They're gonna make a couple hundred kids line up, get in a line. To
It's
go
only
in
if you
one
have to.
lesson.
I actually don't think I'm gonna go.
All right, let's get these calls in. The calls, not so much in the queue, so please feel free to call in. Thanks for
We can bullshit for as long as it takes.
Yeah,
thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Doc from somewhere in America.
Doc? Is your name Doc like the elf? Wait, what's his?
No, I'm a doctor, man. I'm not gonna. I can't use my name.
I can't hear. I'm sorry. That's really fucking low right now. I thought you said my name. Hey, what's up? My name's
Can you hear
Doc.
me okay? Right? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
give us a second. I
right
think
now?
we're having some audio issues.
Yeah, I can't hear him at all.
Barely hear him. Hello? You there?
Sweet.
Doc!
Hey,
That's
Doc!
it.
We got you, Doc.
Sorry, go
You're
ahead.
here. Hello? What's up,
Yeah,
Doc?
can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah,
What's up, Doc?
Finally.
No, nothing. Was just checking in, seeing how Ohio's doing with COVID-19.
We don't know. Me and Brett, listen, I don't want to say anything and sound like an idiot, but I sort of feel like Ohio's handling it pretty well. I think that I've been relatively impressed. I mean, they've been pretty honest about the numbers. They have closed everything, and they were quick to close. They closed everything first. I mean, they probably should have closed the bars like a week ago. instead of waiting until
Yeah.
today. But other than that, it's kind of like I think it's okay. I mean, I you know, I'm a little worried, but that's Ohio. I mean, you know what I worry about the most, Doc? I'll tell you. My biggest fear is lockdown, right? Where they tell everybody they have to stay in their houses for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
I don't think that Americans are going to handle that well.
Yeah. Well, but at least I've seen a couple cool things, because if they don't handle it well, the moms in LA are just going to move into the houses, and people are just going to not leave there if they get evicted. And I'm hoping for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, an end to evictions and stuff would be great. I super worry about, like, I don't want people getting killed. And I'm going to tell you, because me and Brett are going into content overdrive during this thing, because there's nothing else to do. Might as well make a bunch of content. So I spoke to Felix, and we're going to do Shocktober. We might even do a couple of them. And so I was listening to Mancow all day today. And his opinions on coronavirus are scary to me. And I feel like he is getting it from somewhere. And that's what makes me nervous. Like, where is he getting his information, and how many people are getting that same information? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really, really bad information, like in clinic, from patients who, mean well, but are just not. I don't know what they're reading. I don't know where they're getting it from.
Yeah. I mean, well, the conservatives are really fucking worried, okay. Like, if you're going to be a Trump voter, he looks so bad right now. And, like, everybody knows it. And they know, I think the thing is, they know he's going to lose now. And it doesn't, I mean, maybe if this shit clears up by the summertime, maybe he could win. But I think he's looked so bad that anybody can beat him at this point. And I think they're very worried about it. And I think that they're going to make a lot of rash and stupid decisions. And that's what makes me scared of lockdown, right? I don't want to see people getting shot in the street. I don't want to see people getting, like, arrested in the streets. And I think those people will go out into the streets. They're not tameable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just weird. Brett, what do you think about that? Like,
about what?
He was asking how Ohio's dealing with coronavirus, and I said I worry most about if we go into a lockdown type scenario, because a lot of these Trump people don't really believe it's a real thing.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, talking about the right-wing reaction, I'm still seeing a lot of people saying that it's alarmist. I'm seeing a lot of posts that are like, nobody I know has corona. Why can't they do this? Why can't they have March Madness or whatever?
They probably do, though.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, they probably. I was, I'm trying to keep up with stuff, and it looks like, if you're under a certain age, you probably won't get sick from it, but, you're going to be spreading it for, what, on average a week?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, you maybe get sick.
So,
I mean, it'll be miserable. I mean, there was people posting in the group about, like, oh yeah, I got swine flu, and people got bird flu and SARS and stuff. It just wasn't the killer version because they were 25 years old and they were stuck in, like, Florida on spring break or something, So but it is, I mean, my parents are taking it seriously, which I was surprised because there are kind of alternative info people sometimes. But the worries to me, I mean, I think it's just like the bad behavior. I was talking to Katie about It's a Wonderful Life and how when the bank is going down, the guy is like, now I don't have very much to hand out, so please just take the money that you need. And there's one asshole that's like, I want to clear my account. And he's like, but we can't clear everybody's account. We just need you to take enough for groceries for like the next week. And that's what's kind of coming out now is the people that are like hoarding milk and meat and produce and are buying up all of this stuff. That's going to go bad because they're not going to make it all.
Well,
you
me
know?
and you had this.
Yeah.
Me and Brett had this conversation.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that. Don't you think it seems like people they're doing that, like the toilet paper, the food and stuff. Even if they think, you know, America, best country in the world, whatever, it seems like they have like no faith that anyone's gonna step in and kind of figure this out. You know, like they're not really doing that in Korea. They didn't even really do that in China, as far as I've read. But like we're like, I don't know if anyone's out here helping us. This rugged individualism is.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole American existence is a tight wire act. I mean, we're doing this whole thing like, fuck, man. Some people are making a lot of money and getting big trucks right now, and then some of us are losing out. I'm doing okay right now, but as soon as things change, you know, it's like there's no, you know, you don't know how long they can sustain it. You know, order.
Yeah.
Well, and I think like me and Brett, I don't remember which tour we were on, but on one of the tours, we got into watching Doomsday Preppers. We were watching the TV show Doomsday Preppers. And one of the things that really bothered me about Doomsday Preppers were the fact that they're only prepping and having a bunch of stuff so that they have it. It feels like so that they're not doing it for the good of anybody but themselves. They are buying guns and having all these plans about how if somebody comes and gets some of this stuff that I've hoarded, I'm going to kill them. And I think it's the same impulse when you are stacking toilet paper like that. It's not I'm going to kill you, but it's like if I don't buy this, then somebody else is going to fucking come and buy it. And what if I need it later?
Yeah.
You know? And I think that attitude is so gross to me. It's just like, we'll figure this toilet paper thing out. Why is it toilet paper? What is do you know, Doc? Do you know why it's toilet paper?
I saw what is it? I saw someone on Twitter like, I mean, because the only thing everyone knows is they're definitely going to be shitting.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah, I guess I will give you that, right? What, Gwen? What do you want? What do you? Let's go around. We'll ask Doc. We're asking everybody at the table here. We'll even ask Jason. What is the thing that you would want to hoard in case you couldn't ever? In case it looks like you're not going to be able to have it for a while. I'll go first. Ruby red grapefruits in the big jug that are peeled and everything, and they're wonderful.
You
Brett.
do love those.
Yeah, Brett.
Well, I was going to say with the toilet paper thing real quick is that there's been times in my life the only toilet paper I had was the ones that I stole from the apartment complex like showroom. Like I would go and like use the like restroom at the you know, the office and steal toilet paper from them. So, you know, I'd have to buy a few rolls. I was worried, you know, that I wasn't going to be able to get it.
I'm going to change mine real quick, though. I'm going to change that real quick. Donuts. I would hoard donuts.
They
now,
go bad.
We're looking at this in a world where things don't go bad. So you're able to hoard.
You just changed the whole thing.
I didn't change the whole thing. That doesn't change anything.
Apples. I guess they wouldn't go bad.
You want apples. You would just want to have.
I'm trying to think about it. Let me think
Okay,
about
you
it.
think about it. Brett can answer.
I mean, mine is weed. That's the one I'm worried about.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
That's
true.
the one I'm like, fuck.
Jason.
But the thing about it, I'm also not, because if I have to go to a circumstance where I can't get it, like I'm just going to lock into killer mode, I guess.
Yeah.
If I'm not high, I start killing people. That is the problem. That's kind of the worry. If I'm not medicated with weed, like I'm just going to start fucking murdering anybody.
Yeah. Jason, what would you keep?
I don't know. Anything that I've gone out and bought so far, I bought a couple boxes of Oreos.
Oreos. Jason wants treats. If it looks like it's going down and it's
said the cool
he wants
thing.
Oreos.
He also told me before the show, though, that he stocked up on Huel.
I have a bunch of Soylent.
Human Fuel. Huel. It has like 100% of like 20 fucking vitamins, right?
I have a decent amount of Soylent too.
I
buddy.
also have about 20
Not
pounds
a
of.
lot.
I have 20 pounds
I
of
know.
proteins and greens.
Stop bragging.
proteins and greens.
Yes, like the powder, protein powder.
I have 5 Soylents actually.
Only
but
5?
I have
That's
12
what
on
I'm
the way.
saying.
I've got like 60 scoop. I've got like 80 scoops of fucking protein ready to go. Proteins and greens.
Gwen, is there something you can't live without if we get locked down?
Like moisturizer because I'm on Accutane.
Okay, come on. Okay,
Okay, that makes sense.
My
moisturizer,
face gets
that is
really
good.
dry, like Aquaphor and Cetaphil.
Okay, so it's Aquaphor.
Well thought out.
Mine's donuts.
Yeah.
I need
Why-
to get donuts
What
around
is-
the house.
I don't know what I've missed. Like, what have I really?
Doc, what?
Tortilla chips.
Let's do this. Doc, what's yours?
Tortilla chips.
I think it's got to be dog food actually, because like I can ground.
You're
stuff
gonna let your
my
cat
dog.
starve.
No, cat's gonna live outside. That's an outdoor cat now.
Mr. Nice Guy. Mr. Nice Guy on the, we got Mr. Nice Guy on the phone. I'll feed my dog
Wait,
before I
have
feed
some-
myself.
I was reminded because I was listening to y'all on earlier shows. I was reminded I had a little homespun, kind of like a little bit of hustling the system advice from the inside for Gwen and for yourself, Brian.
Nice. Let's hear it.
Well, so I work at a clinic, and they exist all over the country. That's called a federally qualified health center. So it gets a bunch of money. Basically, it gets Medicare amounts of money to take care of uninsured people, and it has to fulfill all these criteria and whatever. And then in that center, there's a pharmacy called a 430B, I think 340B pharmacy, and everything there. And the pharmacy has a bunch of even really kind of fancy medications, but so pills are like $5 for a month, $10 for 3 months, but even kind of swank stuff. So like Accutane or like some of the swank, like
What?
my.
Do you know what
my
Accutane is?
partner gets
$5?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be like 17, I think, at least at our clinic.
Shit.
Wow.
You know how much that shit is, dude?
Yeah.
Real expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
oh,
pay
I do.
$200
Yeah.
out of pocket every month. That's just out of
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah. No, my partner uses something similar, and so she even, like, she belongs to, she goes to a farm, she goes to a spot where, it's good care too. People are a little bit scared because, like, I take care of a lot of undocumented folks, a lot of poorer folks, but I don't know. It's a lot of pretty smart docs, and there's just it's if you can find it, I'm sure it exists in Ohio too. Definitely something you could probably avail yourself of.
You know what? I'm with Doc. I want to hoard like a whole pallet full of Old Roy dog food because I'll eat that shit too to be around. I don't give a shit. I'm not fucking fancy at all. I'm not complaining about nothing to eat. If it's good enough, as long as it's not gonna poison me, I'll fucking eat it.
You're a sick
Disagree.
person, though. You're a sick, gross human being. You know what?
Dog
I
food
would
and milk.
die
You know
before
what
I
Brett-
ate that.
Dog food
You know
and
what Brett
flax milk.
sent to me yesterday? Remember when we went shopping, Gwen? And we saw that new seltzer water? And they had raspberry coffee flavor?
No.
Okay, so when we went shopping, I saw seltzer water that was raspberry coffee flavor.
It was
and I was
cherry.
like, this is cherry coffee flavor. And I was like, this is the fucking grossest thing
Yeah,
I've
it's
ever heard of
nasty.
in my entire life. Brett fucking sends me a picture of it in messages and said, this is the best seltzer water I've ever had. And I was like, you're just a sick fucking
You do a
freak,
lot of
dude."
things I question.
Yeah, me
Well-
too. Me too. Me and Gwen, if Katie says, so sometimes we'll all be trying to decide something to cook or eat, and Katie will be like, Brett likes it, and we're like, well, that don't fucking mean nothing to me.
I'm the cutting edge, and eventually people fall into line with what I'm doing. And the new Coca-Cola fucking bubble waters have like the best flavors. The apple ginger is unreal.
Sound like something my mom would drink.
Blueberry pomegranate,
That does sound good.
ginger. Citrus green tea, and it has caffeine. It has caffeine in it too.
Not all of them.
but that one does.
Yeah, an odd thing about...
Keeps you boosted.
Here's the oddest thing in the world, and we talked about this in... Doc, thanks for calling, buddy. You got anything you want to plug?
Just washing your hands and
I
voting
love
for
that.
Bernie.
I love doctors. We'll do both. Tuesday.
I can't do
Hey,
it.
later, guys.
Peace. We got a few people in there. We got 6 people in there.
So we were talking, me and Gwen were talking about, like, or no, I want to tell Gwen this and the listeners, obviously. When we were driving back from Detroit, we were all talking about like food and stuff, and then we all realized that Brett and Katie should be married, and me and Erica should be married because Brett and
It would be a
Katie
match.
eat gross
Food wise,
Yeah,
yeah.
they eat gross
food-wise.
food. I agree with you and Erica.
Yeah, me and Erica are like, oh, but
Charlotte's
Erica
like more
eats.
adventurous.
But the problem is Erica's even too restricted for me.
Yeah.
Like she eats like less than I do, less variety than the B man.
I'm gonna be mean. I love her to death. I'm gonna be mean to her and say though, after we went to Detroit, we stopped at Taco Bell, and I was alone with Katie later on, and she was like, "So Erica just eats Taco Bell without sauce on it?" She was like, "What is that about?" I'm like, "I don't know." I was like, "It drives me crazy. I couldn't imagine you think that the Taco Bell tastes okay without the sauce. The only reason to have it is to put the sauce on top of it."
Yeah, it's like a sauce carrier.
Yes, it's really to see someone eat plain Taco Bell, and like I just have to live and I just have to like keep all that in there inside myself while I watch her just take a bite out of a soft taco with no sauce. I'm
Is
just
there a
like,
reason?
Fucking wondering
Too
what's
spicy.
She likes it. She ordered a 1 at an Indian restaurant. She ordered a 1. We had a big fucking meltdown because she ordered a 1.
Oh yeah, you guys are supposed to share, and she's ordering a 1, and you're sitting there like, but I want like a 4.
Here's the thing: we order with children all the time, so we have to get some mediums and milds and 1s. But when there's no kids around, it's fucking.
You step it up.
Yes, you gotta go for it. You gotta get your nose running. You gotta get the full 3 to 4 experience.
Yeah, you can't
I
go on a
understand
fucking date and get a 1.
No.
That would be, you know what? If you guys weren't married, right, and you were just dating her, that would be like a humiliating thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
But it's
would
changed.
you look at her like when you first started dating? If you had sat down and you guys were getting Indian food to share, and she said, "I'll have a 1," what would you have looked at her different?
Yeah, I hold that. I hold it against her. It's unfortunate to say, but you have to hold it. I mean,
Sometimes- Hey.
but that's the thing is like you love somebody completely with all their faults, even if they order a 1 at a fucking Indian restaurant, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And let's get another call.
Another call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Oh, hey, am I on?
Yep,
Howdy.
that's you.
Hey guys, I've been a caller for a little bit, or not a call, a listener for a little bit of a while here. Sorry, I might have been drinking a little bit tonight. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're here. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, yeah. So this is Nicole from here in the Cardington area, down around Ohio. Well, up north of Columbus, actually.
Cardington area.
hanging
I
out
don't know
here.
that. What's Cardington?
Oh, it's let's see. Let me think of like a bigger town around here that you might have. It's not like really close to Mansfield, but it's not super far either.
Man, y'all live a different life outside the outer belt of Columbus. You have
Yeah, I
like
guess
all
so.
kinds.
Yeah,
you have a
yeah.
whole thing going outside of there we don't even know about.
Right, exactly.
Well, thanks
Yeah,
for calling in.
Yeah. It's I've been meaning to call in for a little bit here. Actually, it's just been hard to get my Sundays cleared.
Yeah, I see.
I
I
thought
see.
I'd I thought I'd regale you with a salacious tale involving a certain ex-congressman who lives in this same area that I do.
Ooh.
Whoa, what's his name? Oh, you're not allowed to
Wes
tell me?
Goodman.
Wes I bet he's a bad
Well-
one now.
Good one.
Thanks, sweetie.
He resigned in 2017 after it came out that he was having multiple homosexual extramarital affairs.
All right.
Hachi Machi.
Yeah, that'll be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Was he a Republican?
So yeah, this guy. Yes, he's a Republican. Yeah.
So
I can't
yeah, this
comment
guy
on
was-
that.
What? No, I don't want to say anything like that. But what was his voting record like when it comes to LGBTQ rights?
I haven't looked into that.
It has to be bad.
He was. I would assume so. I would.
It's just typical.
Stereotypes lead me to assume.
That's it's such a typical thing.
Stereotypes definitely lead me to assume.
I don't even know who this person is, and that it's like it's funny that it's not even like a salacious thing. It's not even that much of a newsworthy thing to the point where I don't even know who this is.
Yeah, no, that's not the salacious part. Because yeah, he lives here in this same area of Ohio as I do. He lives in it's right down the road from me, actually, right? So there's this local winery that is in this same town in both of our areas. It's actually a really good one, and I hear that they have a Columbus branch. It's Bunker's Mill Winery, so like check it out if you get a chance. They got some pretty good wine there.
Okay.
So a couple of months ago, like back in, I think it was in October, I want to say. They were having an event at the winery where somebody who there was a local glass blower who was coming to like make glass Christmas ornaments out on the patio at the winery, and like you could come and buy some and whatnot. I ended up meeting his wife. She and I have become friends since then. But yeah, I was out at this event watching the glass blowing being done, and I meet Wes at this event, right? And end up like, you know, by this point in the night, like I've already met a few people and I've been drinking for a while. So I'm just like fucking giving out my phone number to everybody. Just like, oh yeah, you know, we can hang out sometime, keep in touch, whatever. Right. At this point, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know that he's an ex-congressman or anything like that.
Okay.
So he starts texting me, is like way more like on it, like way more like on fucking trying to keep in touch and trying to hang out and shit than anybody else that I've met that night, right?
Well, yeah, the people that I like the most, I probably take a good 6 hours to reply to any text that they send to me. Like, I do not give a shit to reply to anybody's text.
He's very bad at replying to text.
I fucking hate text.
I ignore them.
Yeah.
I answer right away.
Yeah,
I'm a very firm believer in that.
Yeah, no, like most of the people that I meet this night are like, you know, friendly but not overbearingly so. But this guy is like really trying to get in my messages and really trying to like fucking get something set up, right?
Yeah.
And starts moving things in like flirtatious directions. And for context, I'm still mostly like pretty like you know, I'm trans and I'm like in the process of transitioning, but in my day-to-day life, I'm still mostly very masculine presenting, right?
Sure.
This guy doesn't know that I'm going by Nicole. He knows me by a dude's name.
But yeah,
so yeah, he's trying to
as somebody that would be of his interest.
Exactly. Like, because at this point, like when I met him, like my method of attire was like feminine, but not so much that a gay dude couldn't get away with it.
Sure.
So yeah, so yeah, he's immediately trying to get in there. Things are moving in like flirtatious directions. He asks me if I like am seeing anyone, and I mentioned that yes, I am. I have a boyfriend who lives in Britain, which is true, and things don't stop moving in flirtatious directions. He's still really fucking trying. Really fucking trying. So,
can I just say, I mean, like the heart wants what it wants. Go ahead. The heart wants what it wants, and like some guy in fucking Britain ain't gonna stop me from getting to you here in Ohio.
So the other funny thing, I mean, the thing about it is like dudes like that just
yeah, I mean they're proud. I mean they're predators,
right?
And also like if you're a politician that made it to a house seat, then you are a person who will go as far as you will do what it takes to get what you want. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You see it,
right.
It's the same way as like closing a sale. You just see it as like someone that just is like you see it as a negative response that you have to work around, you know, to get to close this deal. You know, it's I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Also, for further context, I just turned 23 last month. This guy's 35.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, predator shit, predatory behavior, rolling up on somebody 10 years younger than you, talking like that is completely unacceptable.
Yeah. So yeah, fast forward, like I said, I met him in, I think, October. Fast forward to December 12th. We've got like a Christmas in Cardington event where, like, you know, people, the local areas or local stores and shit, like, do raffles and whatnot and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hanging out at the winery again because my friend who I met at the glass blowing, the glass blower's wife, Holly, she's there, and I'm hanging out with her and whatnot. And like a bit later into the night, Wes also shows up to that event because fucking everybody's at that event. You know, it's the whole Christmas event thing. So I'm like, at this point, I'm still like not trying to be super like, I'm not trying to like be harsh to this West guy. And also, this December 12th night is the night that I find out that he's an ex-congressman.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, up until this point, he's just like a guy I know who's just coming on too strong. So I'm not trying to be like super harsh on him. I've been like responding to his stuff, but like when he tries to get flirtier, I kind of respond. Oh, there's something. I think I heard some kind of alert kind of sound.
Brian's stupid fucking phone was set for
something. My phone timer went off. I meant to turn it off.
Wes Goodman is
that's no problem.
1 day younger than me. We're like 1 day apart as far as birthdays go.
And how old are you again?
Yeah.
36.
So this person's 36 and the other guy's 35.
23.
No, who's 36?
Yeah,
You're 23, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Wes Goodman is a 36-year-old.
That's not like a wild. I guess 23 is a little young. Yeah. I will say that like 23 is
I could take
a teenager to me. I told my daughter that I call everybody under 30 kids still.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at this kid over here.
Here's what I'm going to say is the part of being 20 years old that you've continued to text with this person is why these people succeed. They're playing the numbers. They know that they can beat down the doors of enough 23-year-olds that are just going to succumb to their power or influence or just go along with what they say. Because they're
Absolutely.
like, you should have already not been talking to this fucking person. But, you know, right. I mean, that's experience. That's the thing. I only know that because I was young once. So it's hard to say. You know, it's hard to conceptualize.
Yeah. Up to this point in the story, up to December 12th, like I've responded, but like when and I've tried to like meet like a bare measure of friendliness because I know that this guy is like, you know, he's like a known quantity in this community. Like people are aware of him, so I don't want to be like super rude to him or whatever. But I do like, you know, when he starts trying to like move things in flirtier directions, I like get a bit colder, you know. I'm trying to be kind of subtle here.
Yeah.
So I end up like hanging out with him and a few other people at the winery on the 12th. And man, this guy is buying me quite a bit of wine here. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, now he's texting me while also carrying on a verbal conversation with other people at the table.
Damn.
Hey, he wants to head back to my place and watch a movie. Well, I tell him that, well, my living room's in an awful state. Like it's not it's not okay to see, which was true at the time. My living room was fucking awful at the time.
Sure.
And he says, oh, well, he texts back, oh, I'm sure your bedroom's fine. At which point I just like stop replying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is really.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, you know the truth, though?
I mean, there's just.
I want to say one thing. Like, dudes in this country, right? Like, white dudes in America do not understand relationships at all until way too late. Like, I would even venture to say that there is a fucking good portion of white dudes that will never have a meaningful relationship with anybody in their entire life because they don't understand how it's like, this isn't, I think in my mind, I think about them and I'm just like, this is a person who like, thinks they just like can have whatever they want, and they think that like I guess like I think that like it's a combination of words that are gonna work to have somebody sleep with them. And I think they do that with their friends too. Like I think they treat their friends in that way too, where it's like kind of like what can I get for me out of this thing? And that's why old white men die alone a lot. You know what I mean? So and also when did you say he came out? How many years ago did he come out?
He got caught in 2017.
2017. Yeah, he got caught in 2017.
He didn't come out. He got fucking caught.
That's the other thing. I mean, I wonder if he just like totally doesn't understand the culture that he's in as a.
When was this happening?
Last year.
Oh, this was this past this past October and December.
He's just a DL. He's just a guy that believes in DL. He's just on the DL. He's going to probably refute anything said publicly, and he's just on the DL. I mean, that's how those guys kind of justify that shit. What I would say, here's what I would say though, as a young person, and even to Gwen, just to hear this as well. If somebody older than you steps into the realm of sexual stuff, that's what they're there for. I talk to 23-year-olds myself, and I make sure not to go into that, even to make a joke or to make any sort of connection at all. Dude. You need to keep it out of there. And if I was interested in you as a friend or as a person, I wouldn't bring up any of like the shape of your body or like your bedroom. Or once people go down that realm, they're really just thinking you as like a conquest or something. That's all they want out of this. They aren't like a genuine person in any sort of regard. That's totally true. I mean, I meet so many people and talk to so many people now, and like, I don't ever bring up sex or body or what you look like ever. Because like, I think that I mean, you know, if somebody looks good, I'll be like, oh, you look good today. You know what I mean? Compliments are different. Yeah, I'll do something like that. But like the stuff like what that mouth do is not appropriate. What that
I think that happens at school.
What it happens
like upperclassmen to freshmen.
They'll say what that mouth do?
No. They'll like flirt with them, but like not want anything more.
Yeah, they don't want to be...
So then the freshman thinks it's a relationship, and they'll be like, no. But then they'll say things that say otherwise.
Sure. Older people think they can mind control people, too. That's another weird thing about older... Like, the fact that I'm older than you, Gwen, makes me feel like I can program you to do anything I want. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm a psychopath, of course.
A psychopath.
I'm a psychopath. Of course, but I could like convince you of crazy things probably just by telling you them with authority. So when a senior goes to a freshman, you freshmen freaks, you're all freaks. You're worried about everything. My daughter will only wear white shoes with no other colors.
I like
on
them. They look
she's
fresh.
Nervous. That's true. Oh my god, because she's nervous that somebody would look at her shoes.
I have pink and red shoes.
That's true. There is pink
and
red
these
on her
shoes.
shoes.
These are blue.
Okay,
Those
fine.
are white.
Okay,
Look at that.
But what I'm saying is, that is the same thing that happened with you with this Congress guy. Is he's older and he thought he was controlling you as a person.
Yeah.
Like, he thought he could get you to do anything he wanted.
It's the lamest stuff too. I think what's upsetting is that there's probably a bunch of other people that fell for that. Obviously he got caught doing this, but like they never had like the ability to break free or like not give in or not succumb to what he was saying, but putting out, I'm sure it has to be some pretty boneheaded lines that are, I mean, saying I bet your bedroom is okay is just
That's
like,
terrible.
dude, come on.
I
What are
never
you trying? Who
Yeah.
are you seducing with that kind of shit?
That is the type of thing, and in the 1950s, guy would say to his wife,
I like
when
to have
they
a
were
crack at
horny.
the bedroom.
Yeah. That's 1950s. That's 1950s sex talk between a husband and wife.
Yeah.
That is exactly what that is. Yeah, I mean, he looks like a good-looking guy.
Yeah, and I'm sure that.
Huh?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that like a lot of people, because like on that night that last night that I talked to him, because it's, I haven't spoken to him since. Like, I did drink like a lot. Like, he did succeed in getting me drunk that night. He just didn't succeed in getting it in because I had my fucking, my defenses up. And I'm sure that like somebody who was in a different position where they didn't, have like, already know what this guy was going for, or if they like weren't already in a relationship and therefore had shields up, I'm sure that would have worked on somebody who was in a different situation.
Dude, I've done that. Dude, that is, I mean, it's rare. It's very, I've been in that position before too, where someone is like trying to get me drunk to like be a part of their plan.
I've seen
and
it
in the back
before.
of my mind, I'm just like, no, I'm going to ride this out. I'm just going to have a great time. And then you're going to fail. Like you're going to crash and burn.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen people try to get Brett drunk to like do stuff at live shows and shit. When if I go out and party afterwards, there's been times where we've been hanging out and it's like, this motherfucker, not Brett, this person's like trying to take advantage of
feed shots and shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, feed shots. And I'm like, Brett, I don't think there's an amount of drunk where Brett doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's like he's like a dude that has this like extremely powerful inner conscience that drugs and alcohol can't break.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're self-conscious even when you're in a situation when you're supposed to be not. When you're shit-faced drunk, you're still a tiny bit
I'm hanging on. My fingers are like on the edge, and I'm like, my normal self is like yelling out from the gutter, like a little bit of sanity.
Yeah, it's very funny. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got a Twitter or anything?
Oh yeah. My Twitter is at @flattened_e. The name of that is because I run a blog, a weekly blog called Flattened Ears, which is just like because my avatar is like a cat character, so flattened ears because I bitch a bunch on the blog and cats flatten their ears when they get angry.
Yes.
I trying too hard for the joke, but so yeah, that's linked through my Twitter. I also Twitch stream on Sundays, which is also linked through my Twitter. So yeah, it's just @flattened_e.
I mean, you know what?
Thank you for calling.
Flattened Earth probably could get you a little bit more views than that ear thing. Just advice,
probably, yeah.
Social media advice. But thanks for calling in. That was a great call.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
God, we're rolling.
Kate,
Gwen, big. She's little Kate.
Little Kate.
I call Erica Big Charlotte.
That's why I've been calling her G-Dog, because it's like a name that I won't forget.
Yeah.
It's fun. I also call her G-Wen a lot. What's up, G-Wen?
You called me Gweb earlier.
Gweb. Yeah,
Gweb
I'll also say Gweb sometimes, or Gween. So the senior, I want to get a little bit into this just for 2 seconds before we take another call. The seniors are like perverts, would you say? No, I'm kidding.
More juniors.
So that makes so much sense, dude. The seniors are done.
The seniors are not
checked
here for
out.
it.
They're checked out.
The seniors have matured, and now they're only going for seniors.
And they probably
then
already
breaking
are
up at the end of
together.
the year for their college sweeties.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, they're probably are most
dramatic.
of the seniors paired off at this point?
Yeah, but one of the I'm thinking of a main senior, and they're with the like junior. And
That's
like,
fine.
But like they're gonna go to college next year, and like I feel like it's kind of like weird today to.
I do. I agree. I
Like
think if
the
you're
college
in
person just like is like, yeah, I'm dating someone. They're still in high school.
Yeah. That doesn't last. It's
They
it's
cheat
hard.
on each other a lot.
Well, it's weird too. It's just a little weird. If I was in when I was 19, I was not dating anybody that was still in high school at all. Well, I was dating my wife, but I think they wouldn't have even been out of. Like, dude, I don't think there would have even been an outside chance that if I was dating somebody and school started and I didn't have to go to school and she did, I don't think that would work out for me.
Yeah. I remember that I dated this girl, and her younger brother was with their high school sweetheart, and like from 19 to 20 they fought like crazy, and sometimes it got so wild that I had to like intervene and stuff, and I was just like I set him aside and was like, please you do not need to be with this person. There's no reason to have them around. Somebody that makes you this fucking angry should not be like a part of your life.
Yeah.
And they broke up eventually, but that's the problem of being like an old person and watching young people is you can't really, you have to do it yourself. I had to do it myself. I had to make all of my own mistakes. So that's one way you're going to learn.
Our grade doesn't do that.
But I do have to say, I'm a little bit of a grandpa in my ways, is what I did figure out, like, how older people were found serenity and kind of moved towards that as quickly as possible before I got stuck in all, like, the interpersonal drama of being young and, you know, a party animal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good not to just get in a really big, important thing, you know?
Girls and boys in my grade don't speak.
Yeah,
so
that's
there's
'cause
nothing
you
to
guys
really
are
worry
weird,
about
though.
right now.
You guys are very weird, though.
Yeah,
so.
it's gonna come on soon. You're still getting to know each other.
No,
But,
they've known
No,
each other.
we've
There's
known each
too
other for-
few of
That's
them.
true, that's true.
I don't.
There's,
I don't think
like,
me
80
and
of us.
the thing me and you don't have, Brett, that she has is like we went to very enormous schools. Like you have to take the size of like one of your class. Like how many freshmen are there?
Well, we're probably nearing 80 now. We were
80.
75.
80. Oh God.
We
Yeah,
could be getting
so
to
there you
90
go.
though.
Okay, that makes sense. We were 500, I think, or
Yeah.
600.
It's getting bigger now though. Like in the elementary school, there's way more kids now.
It doesn't matter.
We
not
got to
600.
100,
Yeah.
and that
600.
was an achievement.
You're not
600 means that like I go to Facebook groups for our like reunion and people post and I'm like, you graduated with me? Are you serious? Like I don't know who
That'd
you
be good
are.
to have options. You gotta stay close to. You can't do anything in my grade.
See,
You gotta stay
I think you're
close.
better off
You're smart.
because a lot of people in the suburbs like think that they found their soulmate, that they grew up like 4 blocks down the road from them. That's horrible. You are being pushed into finding somebody that you actually like instead of somebody that just went to the same fucking school as you. Right? I mean, it's tough, but it's easy pickings seems nice when
Yeah.
there's like a whole bunch of fucking idiots that you can just make your boyfriend. There's like just a bunch of
I
idiot
was talking more
boyfriends.
friends though, to be honest with you.
Oh, sorry.
Like a
So-
lot of girls like don't get along but have
Yeah.
to. So then it gets like drama.
That makes sense. That is a small group. 80 is an extremely small group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never think about when she starts talking about school, I think about the fact that her idea of what school is so different. For like everything about what they do is different,
Sucks.
you know?
Don't like it.
Let's get this next call in.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Hey, is that me?
Yep, this is you. What's
Only
up?
you would know.
Every
Hey,
time.
what's going on? This is Bobby. I called in a couple weeks ago. I was like the Filipino dude talking about Filipino stuff.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Filipino guy. We remember you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Well, I
no.
was,
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I had like a funny work thing from this past week that I wanted to talk about. So like I'm an EMT, so we're still working, obviously.
Oof. Yeah. Probably a lot more.
And
are you busy?
yeah, well, I mean, it depends. It depends on the kind of thing. I mean, there's definitely like an uptick in people who think that they're sick, so then we take precautions and
Yeah.
isolation precautions. But I did notice that there's been fewer car accidents, which is pretty dope because I hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
Oh,
die
that's
from
gotta
car
be
accidents.
bad, huh?
More than coronavirus.
What's gotta be bad?
I mean, an EMT going to a car accident is probably like
Well, yeah.
I can't think of something worse than that.
You just realized what
Yeah.
EMTs
It's
do?
I don't think about that kind of shit, dude. I don't
I-
think about any kind. I'm saying that he just said, "I'm an EMT. I'm glad there are less car accidents because I hate those."
Yeah.
And it came into my mind like that probably is the worst part of the job.
I did when I worked at the donut shop in Dallas. This was St. Patrick's Day, like 5 or 6 years ago. I stopped at a car crash that happened in the middle of the night, and the fucking guy died. And it was a really shitty fucking circumstance to roll upon.
Why'd you stop?
Because I saw the crash happen. Like there was a crash that happened in front of me, so I was like wanted to help.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good on your part.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's my
that
instinct
sucks.
is to stop and help.
Honestly, I'd probably do the same.
But there
thing,
was this
'cause
car
that's
that
the
was
kinda
like
guy I am.
No, you
buried
would
in the
not.
fucking water.
What?
Yeah, it was a
I don't think you would.
What do you mean?
I
don't
think you would
I
keep driving.
Oh,
I think it would
okay.
freak you out.
What about if there's a giant object in the middle of the road?
I'm disagreeing.
Do you pull over and pull it out of the road?
Yeah, I would do that. I'm a
No,
good
he
guy like
doesn't.
that.
But do you do it?
Who was I wish there was
I
like
mean,
a ladder in the
if
middle
it
of the
happened.
road. I was with someone, there was a ladder in the middle of the road, and they just drove. They were like, that's got to be bad. Whoever is that's going to have a rough day.
No, it wouldn't have been me then, because I would clean it up. I'd probably even actually put it in the back of the car and take it right to the recycling facility or the dump, whichever one is more appropriate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just like a kind of guy that I see something
Theoretically.
wrong with the world. Well, I mean, yeah, not theoretically. I'm saying that I would do it. Not that I have, but if I saw it, I've never stopped at a car accident in my entire
That's what I
life.
said.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. It's just I don't know why. There's this guy that got like a attaboy at the cable company when I worked there, which, you know, attaboys are pretty good when it's coming for when you get a raise or a reward. And a lot of time an attaboy, they would make a big fucking deal about it, and you might even actually get a raise, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he got an attaboy because he was driving down the road in Worthington, and there was a person walking, and they fainted. And he saw him fall down. There were other people on the street. Saw this person fall down. He got out of his car, and he helped, and he called 911 and all that stuff to save the person. And I just remember thinking, like, I would have never seen that person faint. And it's just not even, like, I can't even imagine myself getting in that situation.
Sure.
And it also reminds me of when the car was on fire downtown. That story just reminded me of, there was a car on fire downtown, and I walked by it the first time. It was a small fire. I came back around, and I was walking back around, and the fire had grown. But here's the part where I was a good guy. There was this weird guy that kept yelling, there's a fire up there. And he was waiting at the bus stop. So he jumped in the bus, and he rode the bus one stop. And then he got out, and he started running towards the car. And me and another guy had to go grab him so he didn't go towards the car. So we could say, hey, buddy, you know, the people in the car the people got out of the car. They're safe. Because he was like, this fire had been going on, like I said, for like 45 minutes before anybody even noticed it was going on. And then this guy goes to run to the fire. And I was like, no, we can't let this guy do this. So we did hold him back. So I did save a guy's life.
You saved an idiot from...
I saved an idiot's life because he was trying to be...
We gotta save these people in this car. It's been on fire for 45 minutes.
Dude, the weirdest detail of that story, again, is that he got on the bus took it to the next stop and then got out of it. Like, so that he didn't have to run from the original place to get to where the car was on fire.
Yeah.
And it's just like... Why? But, you know, we talked about it at the time. It was just a guy that wanted to be viral on TikTok, saving somebody out of a burning car. But, yeah, car accidents probably... So you're not getting extra calls? Like, are motherfuckers calling you and saying they got a sore throat and asking you to come out?
I mean, like here and there, it's like onesies and twosies. I know that, like, I probably can't speak for the whole thing because, like, I hate it when medical people or like people who do any kind of job, like because of their limited experience, pretend to be like the expert on everything.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, this is what's happening system wide." It's like, dude, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
I hate it when people do that. So I can't really speak for how the whole system is working.
Well, that's why I do the call in.
maybe-
I mean, the call in is really designed to just get everybody's individual experience with the thing.
Yeah, to get yours, what your time has been like. That's what I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm curious about. Like, what does your day look like now?
I mean, like, I worked Monday and Wednesday this week, and I had vacation time because I was supposed to, like, say hi to my dad for his birthday this weekend. So just in those 2 days, I had maybe, like, you know, both of those were like 12-hour days at night. So between those 2 days, I only had one person who said that their complaint was, possible, like, shortness of breath and that kind of thing. But the other ones were like normal kinds of calls that we get, drunk person, person fell, got hurt. But I mean, at least from what
Drunk
I
person
saw, like there were
fell
other
and got
units
hurt.
bringing people in.
I mean, regardless of
that
what's
happens
going
a lot.
on, if there's like the end of the world, a drunk person is gonna fall and get hurt.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
But the thing is, like,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah.
No, you go ahead. I'll ask you
Oh,
at
no,
the
well,
end.
I was just gonna say, like, so Monday when I walked in, I was walking in, like clocking in, and we were like disinfecting the ambulance, getting our stuff squared away. And this one supervisor who he's annoying because he used to be in the Army, and he knows that I used to be in the Army, so he assumes like I'm a patriot, like a dumbass. So he thinks I'm patriotic too.
Like,
but
he thinks you
he
swallowed
tried
the
to give
pill.
like this. Yeah, like he tried to give this cool guy like patent speech to everyone to get him pumped up, and so then he's standing out there and he has his hand on his belt buckle and he was like, "Gentlemen, you are making history today. You are the front lines in a global pandemic," and blah blah blah. And he started going off. I'm like, "Fuck you, man. Just stop."
That's fun. I don't know. I think that's fun.
You know what you could have asked them to like take the tone down a little bit though? Hey, you think we could get bonuses,
Yeah.
like a hazard bonus or something?
Yeah.
Some kind of hazard pay? There's a pandemic going on, Maybe a little extra moolah for the Paquito?
I've been hearing about some people trying to get that, but right now it's like being for real, like even though like normally like people at work are kind of salty and like I'm kind of salty too all the time, like there is like a bit more of like, I guess, a sense that we're doing something really important right now, which sounds
You
kind
are.
of corny.
Agreed. No,
but-
no, it's not.
But I think for folks, like it does kind of, it feels like it matters a bit more because, for a while when you do this job for so long, you just get sick of it.
Yeah. My sister's a nurse, and she tells me it's like hilarious when she vents. Like, we get together and she'll just vent all night about the crazy, like, very cruel opinions that she has about these sick people that come to her. It's just like, or the callous way that she thinks about things. It happens. It builds up. But it's like what I was with the mutual aid stuff I was talking about earlier tonight. When the level of seriousness ratchets up, like everybody, raises to the occasion. Like people are now like, fuck, I really got into this. Like, you're really being tested in a way that like when you wanted to be on the front lines of helping people in crisis, now you're like actually heeding that call and finding what your muster is, like what you're actually made of. And I think and we're a billion times stronger than even when we get ourselves credits for. Like there's so much inside of us to overcome something like this and to band together and to have the extra fuel tank and all of the extra energy to make it happen. So, I can absolutely understand what you're saying with this elevating the level of energy you have towards your job,
Yeah. I would say the one thing that's changed though is like, so I got like 2 roommates and stuff, so I've been like kind of careful about stuff around the house with them. So they've kind of like I've gotten more in the habit of like disinfecting my truck that I drive home. And when I walk in the door, like my routine now is like, take off my boots, set them aside so that I can like disinfect them. And then just like, since I get home usually late at night, like 2 or 3 in the morning and no one's awake, I just like drop trowel right there.
Nice.
And take off the rest of my clothes.
Hey.
And like put them in a plastic bag for later.
I'm telling that's called rising to the occasion. If you were to come out and to see your EMT roommate completely stark naked, that is for your benefit. You have to rise to the occasion and never speak of that. You can never use that against them. You can never call them LD after that.
Yep.
Oh, I can't talk about this with Gwen here. You gotta remind me on Wednesday that there's something I want to talk about.
All right, Dirty Story Wednesday.
Yeah, we're gonna have a dirty story on Wednesday. I promise. I know that's a tease coming from me. So the question I wanted to ask you, I don't think it happens every day, but is there Do you get a cool number of teenagers that got too high and called the ambulance? Because that would be sort of my
Let's
favorite
open it up
thing.
to all demographics.
Okay.
Like, so I would say I would say like maybe towards the weekend. So we have like, I can't really say exactly where I work, but we work like in a city that has like a fair number of like universities and like the kinds that attract like nerdy goody two shoes type people who are like getting high for the first time. So it's a lot of like 18, 19-year-olds who like never smoked in high school, didn't really drink a lot.
And all of a sudden
like,
they can hear their
picking them
heartbeat.
up. Yeah, they're like flipping out, like, and just being like, well, just trying to make them feel better. Like, all right, cool, man, that's all right. Just really like, there's no. The nice thing about those though is that it's not that stressful, since like, having done a lot of drugs and like knowing people that did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this dude's fine. So like, you just have to be a good conversationalist and just hang out for like a couple minutes on your way to the hospital.
Yeah, that makes sense. But we were wondering what the how common is it?
Like, is it a relatively common thing?
I would say like especially on like either late at night or on the weekends, like starting Thursday night around like 8:00 is when we start getting those, and then it kind of continues throughout the weekend.
So you have more than one a weekend?
Well, yeah, it's like it's a big city-ish area.
So you have
it's not like a quiet jurisdiction.
So yeah, you're regularly dealing with that.
Yeah, is it? That's got. I mean, I feel like. Don't you feel like maybe they should send guys like me and Brett to handle that?
Yeah, no.
Instead of wasting your time,
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like I would like that job too because I think it would be fun. But I remember last time I called in, I think Brian was like, "Yo, I would be good at that job, just de-escalating drunk people all night." I was like, you know what? You probably would be really good at that.
It would be funny if you called in and you were like, I think I'm going to die. I can hear my heart beating. And then they just called us instead and we were like, hey, man, you partying tonight? What's going on?
Yeah.
Let's shake shit up. Let's fucking throw these curtains open. Let's, like, mess up this atmosphere because, like, things are going downhill for you and I want shit to go better.
Things are going downhill
Let's
for
have a
you.
good time tonight.
I mean, like, do you get acid ones too? I mean, I think the reason I'm asking you this, and I think it's wild to me, is that weed and acid are not going to kill you. You know what I mean?
But they make you can feel that. So make some people feel that way.
I know. Jason can attest to that. One day, maybe Jason will tell his story about when he had to dial 911 because he didn't listen to me and Brett. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I had to call the fire department for my sister once, so maybe I'm not the best.
Yeah.
At this,
you did. I mean,
dude, this went on for 3 hours. 3 hours.
There should be a separate police force. Well, or we should just be like a gig economy. Like we'll just pay. I'll take $50 to take the call, I guess. Right?
You just fucking $50. That if you did drugs and you're getting a little bit of fucking nervous, you hit
I'll
the
come to your
button
house.
on the thing.
I'll just
Consultant.
change. Yeah, I'll consult. I'll like, man, you got to get more bright light in here. You got to get a fun movie on. Let's get some good music playing. Stop laying on the ground and just focusing on this stupid sound that you hear. Or whatever
The issue is you would need them for every city, and that's where I think the problem.
There's enough of us.
That's why
There's
you
so
have to
many
make
burnouts that are ready to teach people how to get to the burnout part.
We'd need a screen. It couldn't be a gig app because there would need to be a good screening process, and they don't screen
Burnout. It's called burnout.
It's
When
called
you're in,
burnout.
when you're about to call the police and you're on drugs, it's called burnout. You've burned out and you've gone too far, and you need the help of another like lawbreaker to get you through it.
But you need
to help you
somebody
write it out.
It takes a skill to spin you out of that. It is not something
Highly trained professionals.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Because if like fucking
We will-
somebody like my wife went, it would be a disaster.
Don't throw your wife under the bus.
I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but it would actually be she's good to me as a person, right? But she will bring up all of the negative impacts of something that you're doing. Like and like when you're high, you're just like, yeah, that she'll be like, but that's not going to happen to you. But it's like people do have heart attacks sometime. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're going to die someday.
We all do die.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with like, I think like generally like when I compare myself to some other folks who work where I work, I think that me and like some of my good friends were a bit more chill about that kind of thing, just because like we've had experience with like doing drugs and like being around friends who are high all the time, you know, mixed with medical training. But then there's some like people who are like really young,
yeah,
and like to be honest, like kind of dorky and like never been around people who are high, and they like overreact about everything. So
it's not even
it's
young.
Like, it's
just
also like not useful.
I mean, Brian. I mean, Brian sometimes thinks that everybody is like experimented with things, and like you have to understand that a lot of people are squares. There's people that do not take risks and that do not do fun things ever. Like they just really do go to work and come home and watch like TV shows on fucking reruns.
Well, you're totally right that like I do have a thing in my mind where I think once somebody, let's say 25 years old. When I meet somebody that's 25, I assume they've done weed and a psychedelic and probably cocaine. Like, those are the three things that I assume everybody over 25 has had. And I guess, like, when that's what I'm saying.
It's good.
I guess when I think about that, it probably isn't totally true because I've said the word cocaine to people and they fucking wanted to hide under a table. You know what I mean? Like, just talking about doing, it's just like, yeah, you know, when we're out in New York, there's a bunch of coke. You know what I mean? And like, people would just be like, oh my God, there's coke there. You stay away from that, right? Don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do, actually, but not for any... Like, that's one of those things. I don't do coke, really, and I don't do any... I don't do coke at all, but I don't have a fucking... Here's the thing. I don't do coke at all, but I don't have a problem with coke.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, caller, for calling
you
in.
need to justify it. It's okay.
Thanks, caller, for calling in.
Guys.
I'm a weird dude. I'm having a weird fucking brain tonight. I'm high as shit.
I can really tell.
I'm high. I'm very high.
Well, thanks for calling in. Was there anything else you wanted to get in there?
Me?
No, our EMT.
Yeah. I guess follow me on Twitter at SmoothPoser, and happy birthday to my dad. He's great.
Oh,
happy birthday, Smooth
yeah!
Poser.
Good dads, they exist. It's hard to believe, but good dads are out there. Smooth Poser too.
Who's
is
he
a great
voting
name.
for? Who's your dad voting for?
Dad.
So he's like, to be honest, he's kind of like a nihilist, and I'm trying to get him to vote for Bernie. He's very much like he's very much like it's all over kind of person.
Okay.
Like
So he's a
there's
good
no
dad.
point kind of thing, but
So here's the ultimate test of how smooth of a poser you are. How is that poser spelled?
oh, spelled P-O-S-E-R regular way. It's not that kind. It's
It's P-O-S-E-U-R.
I spelled P-O-S.
Yeah.
Only the finest know that it's with a U.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
No, but my thing is from Adventure Time with it's something that Lumpy Space Princess said. I think the listeners will know.
Oh. Well, I'm talking about motherfucking 90s. The cool times. But thanks for calling in. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Smooth Poser on Twitter. Thanks for calling in.
You want to go to break?
Yeah,
it's break time.
It seems like break time.
It's an hour and a half.
There's a lot of people. We got a lot of calls now.
Okay.
People are jumping
we'll
into the
take
stream.
The crazy calls. They probably want to talk to Gwen or say the N-word. It's one of the two.
Well, there's no anonymouses.
Okay,
I need
good.
do we have
Yeah,
music?
there's
I gotta send music to.
There is. I'll tell Gwen about the guy. Jason Brett sending you music. There's a guy that pranks us sometimes, and he likes to play the N-word song. And I hate his guts, but you're not supposed to say that on the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then it's like
Are you not on the air?
we are on the air.
Oh,
But
okay.
you should.
But
I acknowledge that we get pranked every week, and it's not the good kind of
It's
prank
not
like
every
Chris
week.
James.
Yeah,
Or every
it's
couple
consistent
weeks.
though.
One time I
Yeah.
walked into choir and then this video popped up and it was of a white kid saying the N-word and it was just repeating and it would not turn off and it was for a solid while and
That's
my
gnarly.
phone would not stop playing it.
Well,
Why did you do
the
that?
thing about it?
It was a kid getting busted to get canceled.
Oh, he got canceled?
Yeah, and that was the video.
Has
Be like,
anybody been
everybody
canceled?
cancel.
Has anybody been canceled lately? I would like to hear
A
about
lot
that.
of people's nudes were exposed.
Oh, no.
That wasn't a
there was a
cancellation,
fappening
though.
on
That was-
TikTok.
We had nudes when I was in high
Ooh.
school too.
There was a lot.
We
A
had
lot of
digital
TikTokers.
cameras. Yeah, but like they were.
Digital? Like they printed them out?
No,
How do they get them to people?
It was a camera that had a memory card in it, so someone would go to a party with a digital camera, and then they would then they would email like nudes to people. There wasn't like an easy way to distribute nudes of your classmates.
There was, yeah. And there were rules against it. It was unethical to do, but socially, it was a weird sort of time.
Reverse back. One of the highlights of my big brotherhood was there was a kid in my class that sent a dick pic to my sister, unwarranted.
Those are terrible.
Also junior to freshman, and I distributed that picture of
Good
his
job.
dick and embarrassed the shit out of that kid, and he actually quit the school. I actually made somebody quit the school so that I fucking yeah.
Has anybody's got out all over the school, Glenn?
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, that's sad.
But they don't drop out. I feel
I think it'll
I
be-
feel like they made a joke of
I
it.
think
They're
that-
like pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard because I don't want anybody to be ashamed of their naked body. Like, I think all of them are great, right? And like, but there's just, it's the context of like when you're sending that kind of stuff.
If
you
it's
know,
unsolicited.
unsolicited
it's
is
not
like
okay.
bullshit. Yeah, like you should. That's free reign. You can like say, hey, some jackass is sending his dick around, and here it
People
is.
do it. I mean, it is like still such a common thing too that it's like, when is this gonna stop?
Like what?
Like they still I'm
It's
saying
constant.
unsolicited. I feel like the rules are no unsolicited
Right.
dick pics.
It happens a lot.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that's the fucking etiquette. That's mainstream, normal person etiquette. Not
but
just leftist.
as
I
a
think
guy,
it's
you should
normal
be
thing.
ready. You should be absolutely prepared, but you have to wait until you're called to action. Until someone says, like, let me see it, right? Until someone asks. That's the rules.
All right,
right?
here's the deal. Nobody will ever see mine.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Right, but I'm
I'll never
just
send a nude picture.
I'm spreading wisdom to our 23-year-olds.
No, I don't think anybody. Listen, if that's what you want to do, send a nude picture. Do it. I'm for it. But don't do it because I'm saying don't
That's
do
what we're
it because
saying
you
the same
feel
thing.
pressured. Yeah, we are saying the same thing. I am that taking a that I don't ever worry about Gwen in that department either because she's like me. And probably wears clothes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, you're right.
We're clothes people in the Quinby
It's
house.
gross when people are like, I like to be at home naked. Like people live alone. Like
So
ew,
fucking
that's
weird.
Nasty.
You know what I used to think was fucked up?
People don't wear underwear.
Pe-
Get out of here.
Yeah, people that sleep naked in their bed.
What's wrong with that?
What'd you say?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with
Okay, whatever.
What's wrong with being
you gotta
natural?
talk out loud though and say things. People that sleep naked. How do you feel about that?
Bust her. I don't like it. I think that's gross, and you should clean your sheets.
You know what?
more
I'm with you,
often.
girl. I'm with you.
I was not born into a bed. Okay?
That's true.
I was not born into clothes. So I don't need to have clothes on
You've
my
had
body
them
to go to
provided
sleep. I
For
can
a
sleep
reason.
wherever
They're
I'm
provided
tired.
for a reason.
To be clothes. The
To
Quinby
be
family
clothes.
wears
Just
clothes.
change
now,
the sheets more often if your stinking ass butt is rubbing off
That's so
all over the
gross.
sheets.
I know. Fucking
You just change it more often.
Put a-
Like, either you deposit the dingleberries onto the underwear or the sheets. Pick one. Change them more frequently.
Here's the way I think. Just
Right.
wear some fucking pants in bed.
Yeah,
That's all you
I
gotta
agree
do.
with
No.
That's it.
There's no reason to have pants on while you sleep.
No, pants is the one you need. You don't need a shirt.
Yeah, you can sleep shirtless. We're all okay with
What
that.
about armpit sweat going everywhere?
No
totally
one sweats in
okay
their
with-
sleep.
I
That
do.
should not.
Trust me. You're not old yet.
I sleep with a fan. I sleep with a fan. I do great.
But
I can't have an armpit. I can't have my armpit hair out there. Like
I don't
sleep in a
have
fucking
any.
shirt,
Start
too?
shaving yourself.
No, I
You
sleep.
sleep in a
I sleep in my
nightgown?
underwear, just my underwear. I do cover the butthole.
Oh.
You gotta cover the butthole.
That's how I feel, too,
I mean, I don't
man.
do. I don't do the
Naked is
consistent
gross.
upkeep to sleep naked.
I
If I were
fucking-
to like shower every single day, but I really push it like 6 days at a time for showers. So
Oh,
I
conserving
fucking
water.
talk.
I just keep everything in like a humidor down below.
I posted something about how people who sleep naked are weird to me. Like I
It's
can't
not. It's
picture it.
so much
Listen,
better.
well, you gotta
It
let
probably
me
means you
finish.
just had sex usually. That's
You
usually
gotta
what
let
it
me
means.
finish what I'm saying.
Some people
I
just
got
do it.
Sleep. Sleeping naked is the best. When you waking up naked is better than sleeping naked. When you wake up naked, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like you have no idea where you were at. You know things were fantastic because you didn't give a shit about how you fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm saying
Sleep
that,
shouldn't have rules, dude. Man, what are you trying to do?
I'm saying that when I posted that people who sleep naked are weird, I would say 90% of the responses were that I'm weird.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I am in. Most people sleep naked. Most fucking normal people sleep naked.
So
Just
where
in
do
my
we-
house, we all wear at least pants,
Yeah.
underwear, and
Stop!
pants.
Don't police your daughter on our
I'm not
radio
policing her.
program.
Am I policing you?
You
Am
just
I
said in
making
our
you-
household there's rules. You're not letting her. She's not going to be able to push back against you. You just announced the rules of the house.
I just think it's gross to sleep naked.
This motherfucker
I don't
does
like it.
whatever she wants, man.
Great. You know
That's
what?
how
I
she
have
does.
my room, my rules.
Yeah, her
You know
room
what?
is all under her rules.
And there's lots of little Christian girls in cults that believe exactly what their dad says too.
She can sleep naked if she wants. I don't care. I'm not saying there's a rule against it. I'm saying everybody in the Queen Bee house sleeps in clothes.
Okay.
As of
Because
now.
We're clothing people.
I am
That's
a
just the type
clothing
of people
person.
we are.
Great.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you.
Some
the truth.
often mom has
Back in
many
2000
layers.
Yeah,
Mom
your
layers it up.
Your mom sometimes wearing 3 shirts and 2 pair of pants.
And a blanket and a jacket.
But someday I slept naked like 4 times before you were born. You know, me and
This
your
is
mom
like-
did.
Gotta get it
Don't
out of your
worry.
system
Don't
before
worry.
you had a kid.
This is
Yeah.
before you were alive.
Before you were alive, me and your mom slept naked like 3, 4, 5,
Ew.
probably 5 times. I would say.
Stop.
But then we
Stop.
never did it again. Actually,
That's why you
you're
have no
around.
siblings. That's why you have no siblings.
Because you're around, you know. You's always running into our room and shit.
Stop.
But it was only 5 times though. Anyway, we've been
You
together.
upped it. You said 4 at first.
4 to
You
5.
upped it.
He's bragging.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I am bragging about the 4 times. And how many years were we together before you were born?
Like double digits.
Yeah, well, I think we had been together for 10 years by the time she was born. No, we hadn't. No, I can figure that out in my mind, but 6 years. We were together for 6 years when you were born. And sometime between in that 6 years, maybe once a year, we would be like, let's fucking just sleep naked. You know
Stop
what I mean?
it. Stop
Yeah.
it. Stop
Yeah,
talking
stop.
about it. You're like saying it's like planned out.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean,
this is the night.
yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
doing a tightrope act right now. I can't believe he's blazing this path.
I'm not doing a tightrope act. I'm
You
telling
are.
you my truth.
We're all like on the edge of our seat, like biting our nails. Can't believe.
I'm not going to say anything gross. I promise.
Okay. You already have.
You just
said a
said that
million
you and my
gross
mom
things.
like sleep naked. Slept
That's
naked
like
together.
not gross. That's like
It's
normal.
gross to us. It's gross
your
to
mom
us.
and dad.
As
Imagine
your kids,
it.
it's
Imagine
gross.
your mom and dad. They're sleeping naked
My
together.
parents?
Yeah.
My parents probably do sleep naked together.
Gross. That's
That's
grody.
gross.
I don't know though. Jason would know that actually. Do they wear jams, dude? Jason says they wear jams, but
He's not in their room with them.
hey, can you do me a favor? When you, just like maybe put a nanny cam in there. Let's find out if my parents sleep naked to
No.
punish me for
No.
what I just did.
We don't need that. See, you're just thinking too much about
Peek
other
in.
people's bedroom routines. Like, you should just keep your own little rules to yourself. Stop controlling what other people
I
can
don't
do
want-
with their
I-
sleep time.
again, legal.
You
I
started
also
like
ask you,
stepping
though-
into my bedroom time now, and I feel like you're a perv.
I also
You're a creepazoid.
I'm not a perv.
You're being a creepazoid right
let
now.
me ask this
talking about
question.
how people conduct themselves in the bedroom.
Let me ask
You sound
this
like a
question.
conservative.
I do kind of. I do. I agree.
You
Let
sound
me-
like a fucking Orrin Hatch or something
I am
right
Orrin
now.
Hatch right now. Let me ask you like a question, just a serious question. What if there's a fire? And
Yeah,
that's
all
it.
your neighborhood would see you naked.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. In
Yes,
that
you do. Yes, you
here's the
do.
thing.
You'd be
Yes,
so
you do.
cold. You'd be
no,
so
what?
cold.
In that moment, nobody's gonna come back. No one's gonna come back with pictures or anything. No one's gonna like embarrass you.
There are TikToks of burning houses.
Here's the thing. People love to feel above you so much that if they saw you running around with all of your fucking nether regions hanging out, they would just pity you and then feel better about themselves for not taking photos of you and like spreading them around online.
I think you're really misjudging society. Right
You would go
I
after
think they
somebody
would
if your neighbors
TikTok
jumped
it.
out of their
Me.
windows naked. You would go after them for it.
Not
There are a
You
lot
don't
of
hang out with-
people. There are like kids filming like shooters in their
Yeah.
schools.
You don't fucking hang out with teenagers enough, man.
They'll
They're
film
brutal.
anything.
I don't. You know, honestly, the only reason I go outside naked is because I'll get in fucking trouble for it. Like that. I mean, I don't care
Bullshit.
enough.
Bullshit.
But I would know. I would run
You
outside to
would
get
get
the.
in
I would
trouble.
run outside to get the mail in my underwear. I've done it
That's not
before.
naked. You
It
can
feels
do that.
dangerous.
It's not
Even
dangerous.
underwear feels crazy.
Underwear's closed, dude.
Underwear is too much. Underwear is very
You're
scary. A man running around in his underwear is something that should be stopped. I do think that somebody should be like, wait, what's he doing right now?
Me and you I see you in your, I would never see you naked, but I see you in your underwear all the time. You see me in my underwear. I never show you me naked. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? Underwear's clothes. I'm saying that, like, you do care. Probably if people see you naked. I would say.
Not if there's a fire. I don't give a shit.
Okay, if we're just
I'd
talking
rather have
fire.
a million. I would rather have 364 nights of sleep, and then one night a year my house catches on fire and the neighborhood sees me naked. That's fine. I would trade that in. I would burn my house down once a year if I didn't have to sleep in restrictive clothing. Is all
What
I'm
a
saying.
fucking nightmare that scenario is. Let's go to the music. Who do we got? Oh,
That's gross. I could
Brett
do
thinks
it.
he could. Brett really does think we should get Brett like a Chippendales set somewhere
Some-
if he doesn't care about showing people his.
Little fanny floss that I can sleep in.
No, I'm saying if you're a performer, right?
Oh, I'm not gonna do a strip tease,
Okay.
but I'm gonna.
Could you? What if we signed you up to be a model for not children, but
say
for
forget.
college students or drawing classes?
Okay.
Would you do it?
I don't think that's the same as
They
like
pay you money too.
running naked out of my burning house.
That's true. It's not the same. It's not the same. I'm just saying nobody.
I could pose. I guess I could do that. Yeah, maybe I would. Why? I don't understand why they have to be naked, but sure, maybe I could do that.
You
Maybe,
know the fucking.
Not all of them are naked.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the real bummer with when I took a drawing class. It was like a dude and he left his fucking underwear on, and I was
I feel like you told
I'm
me
just gonna do a
about it.
fig leaf. I'm gonna do one fig leaf. That's all. Just biblical shit.
My dude was wearing
Something that's like Christian.
my guy was just wearing white boxer shorts, and like when he was wearing them when I got in there and I sat down and I was like, I'm not even gonna get to see this guy's hog.
See, that's not what. See, yeah, I don't know. That kind of incites more in the art, though. It shows what. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's get to this break. It's break time. If you're in the queue, I guess we'll get to you.
We're having fun tonight. I'm sorry. I'm being bad.
We have time.
The break?
You ready to do it?
No.
All right, here's the
That
break.
wasn't the break.
No, we kept bullshit.
Hey, we're back. It's Street Fight Radio, your number one anarcho comedy radio show on any station across the nation. If you had tickets to Pittsburgh, if you had tickets to Columbus, those shows are going to be rescheduled. Florida, you're not looking good, and I apologize. We should have came there last year. We know it, and we apologize. But what the current idea is, we had nothing planned for June. And I think we're gonna try to make everything up in June.
If we can, yeah.
We're gonna try, is what I'm saying. A bunch of new stuff coming to the feed this week. Watch out for us on Twist.
Twist.tv.
It's okay.
Twist would be a good site, though. Like
sounds
Twist,
like it is something.
Twist app.
Oh, I'm not even talking to my mic. That was stupid. It's glad that they didn't hear the thing. But anyway,
you did a good job. I thought it was really on point.
It was. I'm good at doing twist. I know that. Is there a way to? Can I say I know that song by heart?
Yeah,
you know,
can.
it's not words, but I can do it. Gwen, when you
But
gonna
when
get into
you
heavy metal?
I don't like it.
You don't like heavy metal?
What don't you
No.
like about heavy metal?
I like chill music, so it's just the opposite, and I don't really feel any. I don't like it yet.
There's not. Is there any music that's like fast paced and like really gets you revved up?
Rap.
Rap. Okay.
What
Yeah.
rap?
Mm,
21,
specific.
right?
Oh, I
Gwen's
do like
a bit.
him.
Gwen's like really into 21 Savage right now. I don't like.
I listened to his album like when it came out, but I listened to it again.
Yeah.
Like I forgot about it, and I still like it, and it's really
Right.
good time.
I taught her something recently. It was when
I
she got a hold of.
SoundCloud now.
Yeah, she's a SoundCloud person now. But Gwen texted me the other day and was like, "Have you heard Uzi's new album?" And I said no, and she was like,
Wait,
"Eh."
do you like it?
I haven't listened to it, to be honest.
She said it's not good, and I was like, "You got to
I
listen
didn't
to
say
it
it's not
more."
good. I said it's not my favorite.
Yeah, and I said you gotta listen to it more than once. That's something I'm gonna start preaching that. You gotta listen to albums 2-3 times before you decide you don't like them.
True.
That's how I feel. Because I didn't like Danzig forever, and now I've listened to so much Danzig, and it kicks ass. I like all of it. So let's get some calls in, my dude.
All right, we got a few more to go. We might do some overtime, but I think we can get these all in. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, before I tell you my name, I just want to tell you guys I think you're having way too much fun tonight.
Oh no, are you the police?
Gonna have to call the cops on you guys for having too much fun.
Thank you. I hope it's fun for the listeners.
Additionally, before I tell you my name, I've got a bone to pick with Brian.
Okay.
Because last time I told you my name, you told me that the way I spell my name is inferior to the way you spell your name. You said that a Y is a superior to an I.
It's a more powerful letter.
I agree.
But
Katie with a Y.
my daughter
and
agrees.
And I just think of. And if I thought I could take you in a fight, then I would challenge you to a fight, but I probably couldn't, so I'll just concede on that point.
Really?
But
You don't think you can
anyway.
take me?
No, man, I'm a skinny 25-year-old.
Well,
anyway.
I'm going to tell you something, and this isn't just kissing your ass because you're a listener and I insulted your name. I think a 25-year-old could beat me in a fight.
Really?
I think a skinny 25-year-old.
You're a large man. You could just like.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility this guy could beat me in a fight.
Okay.
I just
fine.
think it comes in all shapes and sizes, man. Here's what I can do.
You got like 20 years of like rip starting lawnmowers and shit.
Well,
though.
that's what I want to say. That's what I want to
Walking
say.
legs. You could kick.
I can't fight.
You could fall on him in
That's
a
what-
way that would fuck him up. Though.
That's true. Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say about I can't fight. Number one, I don't know how. Like I don't have like the know-how. But and it's always been this way. I can take a ton of damage.
Okay. You can take enough damage until someone comes to like step in and save you.
I can take a damage I can take. So I might be able to beat you just because I would be willing to take a few punches to get to you. You know?
This is the way I picture it. It's me as Waluigi versus you as Bowser. Okay.
Okay.
I think you could outlast me. And
Get broken.
Waluigi wins.
Yeah.
A lot of times too. So, but
Not quite.
I don't know about
Against Bowser?
I don't know. What's up?
So my name's Brian with an I.
Oh, I thought it was Brain.
I called in last. Well, some people call me that by accident, but anyway, I called in last fall about the Harvard Grad Students Union.
Oh.
And
Things
what I wanted to talk about tonight was the way that students are getting fucked by this universities getting shut down thing.
Yeah, I'm actually curious.
Like,
I'm actually curious. I had heard some stuff about Harvard just sort of saying like,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to sleep here anymore.
Yeah, they told, because I mean they make a big deal out of being like we're a big diverse institution and we're not just a rich kids club anymore and all this stuff. But then as soon as this virus hit and they're like, okay, well you all just have to get out immediately and we're not going to help you at all. So all these like first generation and economically disadvantaged undergrads who are living in the dorms are just put out on their asses and
they
have
don't
no help from the university.
Yeah, they don't have a family structure that can just fly them home or change their circumstances for them with a credit card.
Yeah, you wonder what I
Right.
mean, and that's the sort of thing that a guy like Trump, or even Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders is talking about it, but like we keep seeing on TV, we keep seeing on Twitter or TV and Facebook and TikTok. I'm just saying that for Gwen. We keep seeing college students standing outside of their dorms, kind of protesting in a way, leaving, and nobody spends any time thinking about like people who don't have anywhere to go. Because one thing about college is a lot of people find them, so like there are a lot of people who have very Christian parents and they can't be the person that they are around their parents.
Absolutely.
And
that's a lot of the people that I've talked to is they're LGBTQ plus people who don't have a safe home to go to.
Yeah.
Their college becomes their home and their classmates become their family. And when the college just says, get the hell out, then they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, because that's all I can think about is just like, what about a person who grew up in a fundamentalist Christian abusive house who went to college and found themselves and maybe and maybe got to finally be trans, like out as trans, and they came out to their parents and their parents were evil about it, but they had a place to live without them. And it's sad for me to think about the idea that like these colleges, it's not just Harvard, it happened at Ohio State too, are providing no guidance on where they're supposed to go. It's just assumed that they will go home to their parents.
Yeah.
And you know what the sickest thing about the sickest thing about Harvard is? We're the richest school on the planet. We're worth $41 billion.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like they could take what they've invested in the prison industrial complex and in fossil fuels and like build a new city for all these people to live together, but they just said, nope, sorry, you got to get out.
I mean, there should be there are also like a bunch of empty houses out there, and that's something like if the federal government decided they wanted to get involved with this coronavirus thing, maybe they could mandate that, if you're, because I saw a thing that said, like, if you get sick, quarantine yourself into one room and only use one bathroom, right? For yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, well, I only have one bathroom. Like I don't know how to quarantine, and there would be places for people to go. It's not that hard to quarantine somebody in a house alone when there's so many houses that we could just put somebody in to ride it out until it's over,
And me, as a grad student, I'm fairly lucky in that I don't live on campus. I have to live off campus. So my housing, I say fairly lucky because I still can't get a job. I still have to pay rent, but at least I'm not out on my ass, But have y'all seen about the stuff at UC Santa Cruz?
No.
And the strike that they've got going on?
Yeah. That thing is crazy. They have gone like super radical out there. It's like a very beautiful thing.
So they fired like over 80 people.
Yeah.
Who are grad students. And those people are, people with kids, pregnant people, people who have dependents and families and health conditions, and They just said, oops, sorry, since you decided to go on strike, you're not on health care anymore. In the middle of the worst pandemic anyone alive has ever seen. But Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. We're in weird times right now. And I think like we're finding out what the federal government is. Now, this is where we learn what the federal government is. And we have to do something.
It's not exclusive to Trump, right? It's not
Nope.
It's not something that came from the Trump administration. It would have been this way for any of the past presidents, like, for the last 80 years or whatever. But yeah, it's so scary for those people.
Well, good.
I mean, it's good that there's like mutual aid networks, but it shouldn't come to that, right?
No.
It shouldn't come to fellow students and, other people having to help. It should come from the top down,
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for calling. We got a bunch of people, but thanks for bringing that up. That's something that that's weighed on my mind lately, and I just didn't even think about it,
Yeah, if just to for the listeners, if you have a few bucks, go to the UCSC Strike Fund. Just Google that, UCSC Strike Fund, and that'll take you to their GoFundMe.
Can I ask you? Is that this? I might be wrong about this. Is that the school where they started giving away food for free in the cafeteria?
I don't know because that's on the total opposite side of the country, and I'm only.
Oh yeah.
I'm not actually connected. I've been following at a distance, but I just know that they've been getting beaten down in the street by riot cops and all this stuff, and then they're getting cut off from their health care. Worse than the rest of us for the most part.
What is that? And
but yeah, check out the UC.
I even wonder. I even the way I'm thinking about it is like, so what kind of experience are the students that are left at the school going to have without any grad students there to teach? You fire 80 grad students. Grad students teach most of the classes.
I am speaking very uneducatedly on this subject, but
That's the
from
best
what
way.
I
It's called
understand,
street fighting.
it's just that it's very counterintuitive. It's like, you would think that, I mean, the point of the strike is to get their attention, right, and to get them to budge on their demands. But the university has thus far basically just said, screw you, we're not going to budge on anything, we're just going to fire you.
Yeah.
And so everyone is saying that's to everyone's detriment, right? And that's not helping anyone.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not helping the undergrads who are getting, like you say, are getting taught by the grad students. It's not helping the grad students who rely on this to pay bills. It's not helping the university who is trying to attract students because it's making the university look like assholes. So
absolutely true.
It's just a mess. It's just a mess out there right now. And there have been solidarity strikes at all the other UC schools, at Berkeley and UCLA and UC Davis and all those schools. But anyway.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, check out the UCSC Strike Fund, and that'll take you to their GoFundMe. But yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Guys and Gwen.
Yeah. Have a good night. Brett, I looked up the UC Santa Cruz thing, and I need you to come over here and look at this picture before we take the next call, because it is ludicrous. It is about the most American thing I can think of. So these are grad students on this side, and the police are lined up with billy clubs in their hand and riot gear to beat up a bunch of grad students at a college.
Over what?
They're striking.
Oh, right now?
They've been. Yeah, well, now they're fired. They fired 54 people, but they had been striking. They did a thing where they took over the cafeteria and gave free food one day, and a bunch of cool things.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen that. Yeah, I haven't kept up with that. I have to look it up.
Yeah, we need to get somebody from UC Santa Cruz to call in. If you're listening, you're at UC Santa Cruz, we'll make time for you. And I'd love to talk about this.
Yeah. All right, next caller.
Next call.
Next. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we
Hey.
talking to? Howdy.
Hello.
Skelly?
All right.
Is it Skeleton?
Hello?
Sounds like someone's coming. We've rousted them from
I think
their...
we lost them, dude.
It sounded like it for a second.
It
Yeah.
did. There was a little bit of hope.
Next call.
This was a skeleton.
Somebody said on the in the chat or in one of the groups, they said they now they go next call. Next call. Like
Tenacious D?
Tenacious D, yeah. They noticed we do the Tenacious D. Next call.
I love the D.
That first Tenacious D album is one of the greatest.
Absolutely.
It's the only good comedy album.
Yeah.
Except for Jake Flores' Kath Barbadaro.
They're All Gonna Laugh at You by Adam Sandler.
Yeah, there's a lot of good comedy albums. I think I'm lying.
Yeah. Say there's some.
I feel bad saying it's the only good one because I have so
ones.
many friends that do such funny things.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing album.
It
The
is.
Jerky Boys.
The Jerky Boys.
Don't shake your
top
head,
five
no.
for me.
Yeah,
top 3. I don't know.
Because I'll say this, man. There was a solid couple months there where me and Brett were listening to the Jerky Boys before we did the podcast. Before Jason started working for us, we would just kind of sit down here and be like, let's listen to fucking Jerky Boys, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
I went to frisbee golf and had it blaring out of the fucking car while some kids walked by, and they were cracking up as they were listening as they heard it.
You were listening to it in the car loud?
Yeah. I had it out loud, yeah, and I was getting the back of like the van.
Brett's number one for like every time he pulls up, it's funny now to me when I'm standing outside. So on wrestling night, canceled this week too. On wrestling night, we go to the bar and then me, Brett, and Jason meet at Brett's house at 10:15 after it's over. And me and Jason usually beat Brett. And when he pulls up, I get a laugh every time now because some fucking loud, satanic, thunderous music is coming out of a minivan as he drives.
I listen to everything real out loud. Even like classical music, I listen to it as like the loudest possible. Like I'm just going to keep pushing the limits. I'll do it louder and louder. And
feels like shit don't get loud enough anymore either.
To be honest,
headphones
yeah,
don't get it.
Yeah, the headphones don't get loud enough for sure. But I also, for some reason, I fell in love with this idea. And Gwen, do you have this inclination at all to have a stranger or a friend or somebody in your life happen upon you while you're listening to like a cool song? Like you're having a moment in your room where you're dancing along or cleaning or doing something in a way that feels very cool or cute, and you just wish that like somebody would like walk in and like be like, oh, what's going on in here? What's this magical movie moment? What's
At
that?
school, if someone I know like is cool is around me, I'll like turn on like a cool song, like flip my phone up, so like
Okay.
they'll walk by and be like, I see you.
Okay.
I do
Smart.
that often actually.
That's a move though.
It is and it sends signals. It was funny because it's funny that you mentioned that because when Jason was here a couple days ago earlier, he was like, "What was that? What you were listening to at wrestling? That sounded pretty fucking heavy, man." And I was like, "Yeah, that was Lamb of God. Like that shit fucking is cool." Because he's real into Metallica. We keep talking about Metallica, but when I roll up on the scene, I have the volume at max, so everybody knows what I was like listening to when I get there.
I will admit,
I'm broadcasting when I listen to it.
If I listen to podcasts, I keep it low because it's embarrassing. But if I'm listening to music, I want it to be I roll down the windows a lot of times and drive with my music turned all the way up so everybody knows what I'm into.
But I listen to Tracy Chapman at that fucking level.
Yeah.
Like, I will listen to King Crimson. I will listen to anything at that level. Dashboard Confessional. If that's what I'm listening to, it's going to be out loud and like
Same.
anybody in the vicinity is going to hear it.
Same. I pull up with anything from Limp Bizkit to fucking Waylon Jennings to like Sturgill Simpson to lately Danzig to Lucifuge, my favorite Danzig album.
You got me a little bit sold on Typo Negative.
Yeah, they're
you
a
like
little
you
bit,
did an on-ramping program for me.
You have to only listen to certain songs because they have fashy elements.
Oh no,
that are I mean, he's a dipshit, like
Sure.
dark goth guy, and he was trying to be edgy, so he
Sure.
did a song called "Kill All the White People,"
Well-
which I can get behind that like lyric, but then at the end it gets a little weird. you
Okay.
know, where it's about like the
Yeah,
Black Panther. type
Tom
of thing.
McDonald. That sounds like Joyner Lucas. Like I'm not racist. Twisted on your head. Shit.
Yeah, he does a little bit of that, but fucking Black Number One, Cinnamon Girl, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend, and Summer Days, fucking rule.
Let you get down.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Summer Days.
do you listen to this in front of Gwen?
I played. Actually, the
Has
funny
Ga-
thing is, I was playing Typo Negative, Black Number One, with her, and she was like, "I mean, you said this is. I don't think this is that bad. It's too weird. You were calling it weird. It was the one where the guy goes, 'Will he trick or treat?'"
Yeah, because it sounded like a vampire.
I know,
he was-
but you were compelled by it too. You said it was compelling in
That
the
was
car.
so that's the same thing for the song. The beginning was very corny when he was talking like a vampire, but then when it kicked off and he was like screaming and singing and the guitar kicked in, then it was like, all right, all that vampire stuff is justified.
I like vampire guys now.
You do?
I do. I want to hang out with vampires. Can we
my
hang
God,
out with
you're so-
vampires somewhere?
That was so old.
Are
That was
there
like
villains?
True Blood ass times,
I'm
man.
not trying to say it's a cool thing to do, but I would like to go hang out with some vampires.
With real goths that are making it through.
Well, the thing
day.
is, I've never hung
Driving
out with-
around in hearses.
I know one goth, and it's my sister, and I don't talk to her.
See,
And like, I wouldn't mind, kind of having a night with goths. I would
you
go
wanna
out.
celebrate the dead somewhere with somebody.
Well, just do whatever they do. What's the big goth night out?
I don't know.
Whatever they
I mean,
do.
there's just listen to the music, right? Express yourself how
No.
you want.
I want to do the whole thing.
I feel like you're doing it ironically or making fun of them.
I'm not.
You're
I listen to fucking Danzig and
Okay.
Typo Negative all day. I'm really not. I want to hang
go.
out. I want to see what the fuck they do. I'm gonna ask Jamie Peck to take me
Sure.
and do something if we get to go to New York.
Yeah,
in
let's do that.
May. Let's ask Jamie Peck to do a goth night with us because she's cool as fuck. Number
I mean-
one, and she's goth.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Will she trick or treat?
There's lots of music to get into for sure.
You just gotta fucking always like your horizons. You have to be like open to stuff. I've noticed. It's like I liked. First of all, I didn't even listen to the Misfits until like 2013, probably.
Damn, that's
It was like the first time I ever even gave them a chance.
I wouldn't say that out loud.
Well, I'm just
2013.
Yeah, but I discovered it, right? Like, I listened. I was very close-minded, like Gwen, when I was a teenager. Like, Gwen's super close-minded about music because she's a
Thank you.
teenager.
I don't feel like I am.
What
You
What are
stereotype
3
me.
different types of bands that you listen to? 3 different types of musicians. Not just the names of the bands, but they do different music.
The chill music.
What's the band? What's a group that you like?
I don't listen to I don't really listen to albums.
What's the chillest
I
band
make
that
a
you chill to?
playlist.
Yeah, what's the chillest
The
band you
chillest
chill
band
to?
that I chill
Yeah.
to.
What's
Yeah,
the
like you're trying
band
to
that you
chillax.
pick if you're gonna sit down and chill and you're like, I want this to be the best day of my life
Chill.
and listen to music?
You're. I understand what you're saying. You just look
Yeah.
for
There's not like a
chill playlist.
Yeah.
You look for lo-fi.
Like I listen to like a
hip-hop-y.
song and then I put it on a playlist.
So there's not any groups that you're really impressed by.
You just don't like groups?
Is there any musicians that really grab
the only
you?
like albums I listen to is The Wallows, and then also yeah.
Billy.
I
But she doesn't
I
really
don't
make
not
albums.
in a while, but yeah, I did.
All
That
right.
was like when I did.
Are
listen to
you
the
like
whole thing?
Can I ask you this?
The Wallows, is that the Pittsburgh one you went to?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did go to a concert to see somebody. So that means you're passionate about one group
Yeah,
enough
and
to
you
travel to a
say
different
they're
city.
rock.
They are a rock band, but
That's a genre.
I mean, they're kind of like
They have
poppy
guitars.
rock. You would maybe like it even.
I
if
love
you
pop
listen to
rocks.
it.
They
It's
make
not-
your tongue go.
Well, it's like that kind of
Good.
stuff that, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, so I learned about the Misfits in 2013 and then never gave solo Danzig a chance ever. I was just like, that music's not for me. It's just like, it doesn't sound like anything I'd ever be interested in. I've never been goth. I've never
been spooky.
I've never been spooky. I like evil. You know what I mean? But like, that is also like, I like a different kind of evil.
You don't
know?
like campy evil. You like destructive evil.
Like, I like the evil.
Yeah.
I like fucking like the cool Baphomets and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Not the goof. But then
punishingly evil.
Yeah. Then I listened to Danzig for a few days and I was like, you know what? I really like this. And that's like almost, Danzig isn't metal in the way that I listen to metal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think he'd really be considered metal, but like, it's just like, I open my mind every once in a while. I look at a thing and I say, I want to like this. And then I teach myself how to like it.
Yeah, I've done that.
And like, Danzig isn't that case. Like, Danzig really was one of those once in a lifetime opportunities where I listened to a bunch of his stuff and was like, I love this and I want to listen to this all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think I enjoy the most about the streaming landscape is that if anything strikes me to try to listen to, I can have it immediately.
Yeah.
Like, if I hear the name of a band that I've never heard before, that I've heard a lot about, but I've never actually listened to, I can just type the name in and see what people are all, excited about.
It just seems weird
But
to me that
to get it to click is different. To get it to like be something that you're obsessed with and you're like fully on board with. That's like the Metallica thing for me.
Yeah. What's Megadeth guy's name again? Brett told me the fucking character from Megadeth's name, and I never knew it, and it was just it's the worst name.
On the cover of all the Megadeth albums, okay, let me ask. Are like thrash metal t-shirts popular at your school? Is Metallica, Megadeth, like the Slayer, any of the like the skull and cross, the vintage looking like heavy metal t-shirts, have those popped up at all?
Kinda. Like the cooler kid, like the artsier kids. I feel like would like tuck it into like some corduroy pants.
Okay.
Corduroys.
Yes,
like
those were popular.
corduroys.
When I did
like
hacky
Doc
sack,
Martens.
I did hacky sack, and I wore offensive t-shirts. I had corduroy pants on the whole time. That's true. So, Megadeth has this mascot, which is supposed to be it's supposed to be representative of censorship. Because their mouth is glued shut, their ears are glued shut, the eyes are covered up. It's hear no evil, say no evil, speak no evil. And they're trying to shut down everybody. And that person's name is Vic Rattlehead.
Here's Vic Rattlehead, Gwen.
That's Vic Rattlehead. I mean, he's cool as shit.
He looks like a Scooby-Doo character.
See, that's the issue with teens.
He's in charge, but Vic Rattlehead is in charge. Here's the thing about Vic Rattlehead. All these people that believe that coronavirus is like something to believe in, he's the one that's like poisoning all of our minds, making us stay inside. He's the controller. He's like the Symphony of Destruction.
Fucking Vic Rattlehead.
It's all Vic Rattlehead.
What you say?
Son of a bitch.
It
is a funny name, right? It's like the worst possible name ever.
Rattlehead.
Would you even like name a kid? You should write a book about Vic Rattlehead. You should write a story
Why
about
me?
Vic Rattlehead. Because you write stories now.
Yeah.
Gwen writes stories, but they're all sad. Every single
I like
one.
sad stories.
But my teacher's publishing it.
Yeah, her teacher
cool.
gets it
She
published.
likes it.
She's gonna. You're ghostwriting for your teacher. She's gonna like.
No,
assume
my
your
name
story.
would be on it.
Okay.
It's actually good. She does very good writing. I think her writing's good, but they're always so.
You haven't read my
fucking-
most recent
The
one.
last one I read really legitimately almost made me cry because I was sitting next to my wife and it was about an older couple that had been together for a long time, and it was about was like this fucking woman.
Or man, I don't use genders.
Oh yeah, that's right. She doesn't use genders. This person goes to a bench, right? That they used to sit together at all the time, but the other person's dead. and the person's just sitting there having all these fucking sad thoughts about the fact that the person they love the most in the whole world is dead.
Yeah.
And I was laying next to my wife, and I was like struggling with the fact that she's gonna, like, that one of us is gonna die. You know what I mean? And then the other one's not gonna.
It's a race. You got to beat him.
The other one. I know. I want to win. I want to die first.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
said
go
that,
first.
and Mom got so mad at me.
Yeah, I do.
Imagine
It's a race.
the world without Mom. That's
It-
so sad.
I know.
Or
that,
you.
Me, and,
No, I
me
mean,
alone without
you?
Katie would be
Real
miserable.
bad.
It's gonna be amazing. All of the
No.
rearrangements will be amazing. They will. They will strengthen everything in a way you'll never understand until it happens.
She really takes care of us.
It's
She really
We
does.
really would not be doing good without her.
But you would be so surprised at how your father will step up to take care of her in your of you in her place.
I can't
I don't know
even.
if you would even do
I
it.
don't.
I don't feel like you'd,
Oh,
like.
fuck
I feel like
you.
you'd sleep all day. Like, you'd
Oh
just
my
be
god,
really
I would
sad.
change all that.
I just feel like you'd be really sad.
Why? Yeah, I would
See,
be. I'm sad
there's the
right
thing-
now, fucking thinking
Me
about
too.
it.
It's like
dude.
The great thing about
cry.
death,
Me too.
the great thing about death is that you assume the worst of people, but they would actually surprise you in a way that will make you cry those tears of love and joy that you never expected you would ever feel until.
I love you so much.
I hope that's true, Dad. I love you too.
But also, you might. I mean, it's most likely it's going to be you're gonna have to come in and do his job for him. It's going to be you and Katie, and you're going to have to do his job.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's sad too. I don't want to talk about that either.
Yeah, I understand.
I
But
mean,
you
but
know-
her,
Your
she
best
writes
friend.
the stories,
Well,
and then the stories.
Coworker.
Well, here's the thing.
Stories are so well written. She's really a good writer. These stories are so well written that they do transport you into that world.
Yeah.
And I read them, and they're good.
I'm
They're
gonna
so sad.
Well, I'm sorry for doing this, but since we're in this realm right now, here's the thing about like raising kids and you as being one of the kids is like in a religious realm. There's a lot of explanations about the end of life and that it's just like magical experience where everybody gets to do everything, but we don't really have a lot of chances to discuss things like that. And I think that like the more that we accept these kinds of things, like it can be a happier thing to think about, like, you know, that we have the time together that we do have, you know?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like not being like in a non-religious household, I guess.
When do you like?
Do you feel like you have any guidance when it does that just overwhelm you, those thoughts of death and stuff?
Not really.
Because like Christian people are talking, they go once a week and they talk about this motherfucker died and he came back for us and
Yeah.
he like solved all our problems and shit. But we are like left alone in a way. And I don't like with Charlotte, I don't want her to be like riding around on her go-kart and being like, you ever think about dying? Like what that's gonna be like or anything, you know? Like we
It
don't
used
get
to scare me.
Yeah.
Because you didn't talk about it.
Little kids, it always scares me.
It was real
'Cause they
scary.
find
Go too
out,
far,
and it
yeah.
becomes the scariest thing. Here's the thing I find interesting. There is a group that meets at the Columbus Public Library under normal circumstances. They meet at the Columbus Public Library. I think you do it like every week or every 2 weeks or maybe once a month. But they meet and all they talk about is death. Because they feel like nobody
like,
talks
accept
about it. And then they all kind of just sit there and talk about death. And I remember I sent Brett a link to the story I saw about it, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to start going to that.
Well,
and I was like, why?
They don't do it that often. It was
Oh.
set up like it was a once every 6 months thing. I haven't seen it in a while, and we missed it because we were on tour or something. I did want to go to that, but
I mean, you could, technically, you have the platform now that if you wanted to have a discussion.
a death cafe. It was called a death cafe. Basically, you went and met at a coffee shop and talked to other people about.
Dude,
it.
I know a bunch of our listeners would go do that. But I wouldn't be there, so that draw's gone.
Sure.
But I think you should do that. I think you should have
Yeah.
a conversation with it's just a bar night. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
there's a lot of air that needs to be let out of the conversation when it comes to that kind of stuff. You
It
know?
fucking fucks me up to
especially
think
when it
about.
relates to this. You know, the quarantine too.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are healthy young 25-year-olds that are having panic attacks all the time, and it's like, I mean, you can do. You don't need to be on full alert yet. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're worried about other people. I'm actually
No, they're worried about
honestly,
themselves. I'm talking about the ones that
Yeah.
are mostly worried about themselves.
I'm in a chat with my buddy David, has a cousin that is they gave him a 90% likely he's going to die from it because he has it and he's in the hospital currently and he had some respiratory issues ahead of it. So now I'm like reading this person grieve and go through and dealing with like that happening to somebody, and it like really hits me hard because again, I'm also just this guy that is fucking when things if I sat and thought about death, it's all I would think about. I would sit down and I would never be. It's overwhelming, and I just can't figure out how to deal with it.
It's taken away probably months and even close to years of my life. Just the thought of it has like pinned me to my bed to the point where I don't know what to do moving forward. You know, it's a hard concept to understand, you know?
Yeah. A brave conversation about it. I mean, damn. I wonder if anybody does a podcast. Like,
there's has to be.
Yeah.
All right. We got callers?
Yes, we have we got 5 in the chamber.
Okay. Well, we got a half hour left.
All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight.
Slow.
Who are we talking to? I clicked on it.
Me?
What's up?
Hey, who's this?
It's me.
Yeah,
you would have to let us know.
My name is Maya.
Maya. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. I'm in the Bay Area and I'm sick and quarantined, so I want to tell you my experience of going to the doctor.
Yay.
Yeah.
We need
let's
this.
hear it. Not yay. But
no, I like
we do
this.
need to hear we do need to hear the whole
perspective.
experience. So go for it.
Okay, yeah. I went to the doctor twice actually. So I went 2 weeks ago when I was like starting to feel sick and feverish, sore throat, coughing, all of that. And they kind of just said, "Oh, you probably have the flu," and gave me Mucinex and some Tylenol, and was just like, "All right, go home." And they said to come back on Monday if I didn't feel better, so that would have been 2 Fridays ago. And a week passed, and I was just like trying to do school and not be sick, and I was still sick, still had a fever, and like I have a really horrible cough. I'll try to mute if the cough comes. I'm like doing okay right now. But I called the doctor back, and when I got there, it was like completely different. It was blocked off. They only had one entrance to let people in, and they had a triage nurse outside, and they didn't let my partner in with me also, which was kind of scary. And then when I finally got put in a room, they just kind of pointed me to a phone in the corner and was just like, "Someone's going to call you in a few minutes, and just tell them, answer all their questions, and don't leave this room." And then I realized it had like a little pressure thing in it, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in a pressurized clean room. Like they actually think I'm sick." Like I wanted them to just like make sure.
Right.
I thought they were just gonna tell me to go home and not waste their time.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden you realized
yeah,
you were like, "Oh shit, I'm now suspected of having it." Like all of those interior thoughts of like, "Oh, maybe I have it," but the doctor will probably tell me to go home. And all of a sudden you're in a pressurized chamber and you're not allowed to be around your loved ones.
Yeah. Like my partner was outside texting me like, "Please let me know if I need to break you out because you can be quarantined in your apartment."
That is important in a relationship to have somebody that will break you out of any medical or prison facility. That is the only reason you should ever be in a relationship with somebody.
I would break my wife out.
Yeah, if Erica was like, "I need to get the fuck out of here. They're holding me against my will." I'm like, "Honey, I'm going to go in. I'm going to tunnel in tonight and get your ass out of here."
But did it feel, I mean, I'm asking you an obvious question, but like it was pretty scary to like you found out about it and then they all took probably more of an interest in you. What were you nervous? Not I know you're understandably nervous, but about the social stuff, the precautions that people take, and the process of what happens after you've been diagnosed.
Well, I didn't actually get diagnosed because when the doctor came in a full hazmat suit, she saw that I wasn't dying, and was just like, "You may or may not have it, but I can't test you because of CDC's guidelines." So just like go home, and she gave me a list of symptoms, or if I feel any of those, or a combination, to go to an ER. But she did tell me that there's probably several people. I'm a grad student, so there are several people on my campus who probably also have it, and they're not going to get tested just because of the guidelines, which is pretty terrifying. But yeah, like being there was really, really scary, especially just like not knowing what was happening. I ended up waiting for the phone to ring for like an hour and a half.
Oh, God.
But the doctor's trying to like pretend like nothing was wrong. Like, I think for the benefit of the people who were like waiting to be directed to rooms, and also like for me. But when you see someone wearing like a splash guard when you're talking to them, like
yeah. I have to say, I just want to clarify for me and the Zoomer in the room. You spent 90 minutes in that pressurized cabin. Did you have your phone with you?
I was gonna ask that too.
Did you have your phone?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay, good.
Woo! Thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I was worried they were gonna take my phone. I was like, I can't communicate without.
Yeah, I need this. I have somebody outside with a bunch of explosives that I have to send a signal to with this phone if things don't go my way in here.
Did they give you books or anything? I mean, did they take care of you in the room?
I brought a water bottle and books because it took a long time the week before, so I was pretty well entertained. I couldn't really focus, so I kind of just sat there and stared at the phone for most of it, but
Yeah, it's nice. It's comforting.
Yeah.
It's like a calming jar.
Yeah.
Right.
Just watch that squirrel go by.
It sounds like, I mean, from now, I'm sure at that time you were probably going pretty anxious, but it does sound like, I mean, are you feeling okay now other than sick as hell?
Yeah, they gave me an inhaler, and that helps. So
That's
I've
good.
been just trying to like take that when I feel like a very uncontrollable thing happen, or if I just like can't breathe. But I've been getting better every day. So
No, that's great.
Sounds
And
like it's like a 3-week sickness, so
uh,
should be around.
How far are you? Yeah, you're 3 weeks into this now, or almost 3.
I'm 2, so this would be my 3rd week.
Okay.
they should give you Actavis. That's the thing that annoys me. You should be getting
Lean.
Scissor. Yeah, that they should have given. I know they quit making purple Actavis.
They should bring Activists back in. They should bring Activists back for everybody.
They should have given you at least codeine.
On edible.
Yeah, you know, I've heard that from a few people that have had like symptoms and stuff, that they're just like, and a lot of the quarantine people, it's very funny. A lot of the quarantine people have been like, I'm just going to sit in the house and get high. And it's like, man, if we only knew that, like, if we only knew how many people just wish they could sit around the house and get high all day, it wouldn't just be considered something 18-year-olds do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because so many people are like, no, I'm just going to get fucking high and play video games. And it's like, you have a job, sir. But, so
Yeah.
you feel, so are you do you live alone, or what was the situation with housing and what happened?
I have an apartment, so I've just been here. So, and I have my partner. He got sick for a couple days, so we're hoping that was his COVID-19 experience. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
So
you-
I'm hoping we don't like pass it back and forth to each other or something.
Are you guys hanging together though?
Yeah. Yeah, he's here.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
I
I
would
mean,
too. Fuck it.
I mean, the part of this thing is that there's people that you're up in the mix with, and like, you know, like our families, we're just up in the mix. Like if we get it, we're all going down together, right? So just some people you're gonna be like that. I'm still gonna hug some people.
I'm gonna hug my wife if she gets COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love her. I hug her all the time. You
It's
know.
probably the 10th or 12th time that's happened.
I'm gonna hug my daughter if she gets it too.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
Fair.
her.
Thank you.
Hey, You know.
Yeah, I get hugs. You won't touch my phone, but I do get hugs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, hugs are good. I mean, that's the thing that's going to get you through this, really. It's a cure-all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything works out, and good luck. Solidarity. Is your work being your grad student? Are they letting you work from home?
Yeah, we have online classes. I'm not doing the best at it, but my professors are being nice to me because I'm sick, so I'm hoping they'll be patient with me for another week.
Yeah, I mean, you deserve it. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Stay inside. Stay healthy.
You too, peace.
Bye.
Interesting.
Man, how many we got? We got more?
Yeah,
you're gonna roll
few
in,
folks
then,
called
man.
in.
Roll it in. We got fucking 19 minutes. Or
That's all?
19 minutes. Yes.
All right. Well, we'll get who we can. Yeah, if you're at the end, I don't know. We'll see. Probably not 614. Thanks for calling Street Fight.
That's a 614 though.
You want to move 614s to move to the front?
No, don't do that because it's mean.
Oh,
Unless
yeah.
everybody's been waiting like roughly a short time.
Yeah. We could jump them.
What's up? This is Street Fight. Who's this?
A skeleton?
Is it me?
Yep.
Unless you're a skeleton.
Hello.
Howdy, dude.
You're here. Hey, how's it going?
It's Tracy from Texas.
Hey, Tracy, how's things going in Texas?
The one and only Tracy F?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I didn't hear the beep, or I didn't think I did, so I was fucking confused. So
It's totally okay. How's Texas dealing with the COVID-19?
You know, we went on a beer run Friday night to the grocery store, and at first, we go into the grocery store, it looked totally normal. Started walking back to the beer aisle, and fucking the cereal aisle was decimated. Canned meat aisle was decimated. The regular meat aisle, absolutely nothing left. I mean, it was really bizarre. So
I've been in the same boat. Like, I just think it's the weirdest thing is the pictures, right? Like, is like when you go to the grocery store now.
Yeah.
There's whole aisles of people taking pictures of empty shelves.
Like
and
the
that's
missing toilet paper.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
All the moms.
That's an odd. That's
the same way as going to like a Buddhist temple and having like 1,000 people standing on the same hill to get the same picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like everything. I mean, it was just kind of really, really weird. I mean, literally, it's the weirdest thing I've seen since probably like 9/11.
I would agree. This is as weird as 9/11. We
Yeah.
have, but my
absolutely.
We were talking. I've actually been expressing that to Gwen, who was not alive for 9/11.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did actually say, I don't remember 9/11 being that weird. And I was like, well, you weren't born for another 3 years. So.
Yeah, it was pretty chill times for you.
Yeah. But
you were
dude,
just like,
I mean,
there in the
this
ether.
is going to be the time. This current time is going to be a time you remember for the rest of your life.
I'll
and it's
tell
going
it
to change.
to my kids.
Yes.
I mean, not only that,
you get to hold it over them. You get to tell them they don't know anything.
No,
they
they'll
have
be
it
like,
easier.
they'll be like, I'm so scared of like freshman year. Like I'm so nervous. I'll be like, should have had the virus
Yes.
going on.
What do you know about
You have
corona?
nothing to worry about. You won't get a virus that could like kill a bunch of people.
Coronavirus stole my freshman year from me.
I feel bad for the seniors. I'm doing fine. I'm happy to miss school. The seniors are the ones missing out.
I actually saw a few people that were like,
seniors.
Go ahead.
No, the seniors should get out. I mean, fuck. I mean, what do they got left to do? You know, let's do it. Let's just call it. Graduate, whatever. You know.
Well, I mean, Texas is big about sports too, and Ohio is as well. And the one lady that I talked to on the playground just said, it's a shame all those kids work so hard to get to March Madness basketball and then don't get to play. I mean, like, can't they just let them just do it? Even like sign a waiver or something? I'd hate to see them not get to have the chance to do it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's
I mean,
their story. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing is like that's your story. Things change, and then you make a new narrative, and you move forward. You know, things that were different, and
Absolutely.
things were different, and then you overcame them. That's the story every single time.
The thing is, though, they definitely aren't getting a prom, right?
And then their graduation is a week later.
No.
And we
Yeah.
made it to states for
Yeah.
basketball, and the seniors might not get to play.
Yeah.
Like, that's their last game.
I mean, the seniors are gonna miss out on like what is traditionally considered senior year, like Americana.
but they, like,
kinda
already
thing.
bought their dresses, like all the girls.
Oh, wow.
But,
They
they
can
can get
I'm really thinking.
video chat.
I'm really thinking that y'all of school age still, y'all may not go back this year. I mean, maybe
let's hope
fall,
so.
but for spring, I think y'all are done. So, but yeah, hi Gwen, I met you in Austin. I was just gonna say hello real fast.
Hi.
But yeah, I think school's done. So,
I
at
do
least
too.
y'all have
Blast the Alice Cooper.
I think it's summer vacation. I do believe it's summer vacation. They'll be learning on their iPads or Chromebooks, but
that
I think
kinda
they're on
sucks,
summer
though.
vacation. What?
But it kind of sucks, though. Online
No
school?
shit.
It sucks.
You know what you're gonna do? You know the school
Haven't-
never. You know
I
the school
haven't
never
done
taught you how to do is make the goddamn bed right. That's what you're about to learn in the coronavirus school.
But I can't, I can't, I ask so many questions. I struggle so much.
You
and
about-
they
Raise your
won't be
hand a lot.
there.
You need some guidance.
No, what I do is I
These
wait till they
questions that-
explain it.
Yeah.
I wait till they explain it. I don't
These
understand
questions
it.
that Gwen has, these are what that our so-called education system, whatever questions Gwen has, this is what it should be for, not fucking the Pythagorean theorem or fucking, the 54-40 or fight compromise in U.S. history or whatever. So
Yeah, if
I
you
don't know. We're in a new era.
Yeah, from now on, your STEM classes are what you're going to do is download the Reddit app. Do you have Reddit? That's going to be your new STEM classes. That's going to teach you logic. That's going to teach you reasoning. That'll be your new philosophical guidance.
We haven't really had
I'm
science
going to plug
teacher,
Khan Academy.
so maybe I'll get better.
Buddy, listen, Tracy.
You tell
I
me.
have been trying to get her to do Khan Academy for probably a year now, and she will not.
We
do
used
it.
to do it.
I did.
It's like no, not you, my school, and it was terrible.
It's not terrible.
I
It
hated
helps.
I have a master's in history, and as far as history goes, I really approve of making it totally relatable to people. If you really want to learn from history, you gotta find what the individual is into, and I
Yes.
think them as like, how this is how it got fucked up, or this is how we are now. This is why we. It's not about dates or fucking, who did this, who did that. I don't know. It's just kind of weird right now, and
it's.
Like the debate tonight, it's weird watching that, Biden's all like, oh, let's return to this status quo from 10 years ago. And Bernie's like, no, we need to fucking completely rearrange everything. And that's the perfect time. That's the promise of this so-called plague outbreak is to maybe it will cause enough people to reassess the fragility of the U.S. system in education, in economics, in healthcare, and blah, 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 to really kind of bump it up more, I don't know. I think we're at a certain precipice here that we should all, it's going to be a complete challenge that we should definitely take advantage of,
I agree. I do think that this
yeah,
is... I think if you're... I do think that this is when we make... this sounds very cynical, but I think it's time that we say this is a failure of this federal government. This is a failure of capitalism.
Absolutely.
This is a failure of our media, too. I think the fucking media...
more than... Yes.
Yeah. And our pharmaceutical system where we aren't getting the tests and we can't get the tests, our medical system. This is how Republicans run the federal government. And I think
absolutely
a lot of Democrats run it too. And I think that what we need is a radical new way of thinking. And
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, just you see. I mean, of course, China has absolutely authoritarian aspects coming from a left libertarian perspective. But their response to the pandemic of complete mobilization of the entire economy, the army, the blah, 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 to completely shut down whole regions, to build hospitals in a week, that's something the United States would never be able to do. And it's just, I really just hope that we can pause or smooth the so-called curve as best possible, and also to use this challenge to kind of make people come to the so-called leftist side. Like, we need some fucking real 21st century politics here, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that as long as we have electricity, as long as we can communicate with each other, the bonds that people are building are beyond anything that the government can do, and people are stepping up. What I've seen so far has been, obviously people are panicking and wiping out the grocery stores. We'll see what happens from here, but everybody I've seen has been willing to chip in and is trying to be an active and helping citizen during this time. People are ready to step into a role of helping and caring and giving.
Yeah, and for our DSA members, our anarchist collectives, our affinity groups, that is the challenge that is on our doorsteps right now.
That's why we're here
for people.
We think about this stuff all the time, and now's a chance to take the opportunity. You have the extra time and the time to do it. It's time to do it.
Right on.
So let's get to one very serious issue before we get you off the phone. You were the one that called me out in the group that you wanted me to listen to Thou, right?
Oh, don't do this. Don't do this.
No. Thou is the perfect street fight anarchist metal band. This is everybody can gain something from listening to Thou, especially. I'm not lyrically inclined as much as some people, but especially if you dig a certain track, then look up the lyrics, you will totally dig it. It's always anti everything that's bad, totally pro everything, like fuck cops. Electoral process is kind of really shady. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. To the total limit. So, absolutely, Thou is for the people.
The problem is that, and here's what I mean. I'm into thrash metal.
Yes, it's almost the opposite of thrash metal.
And there's just, when people are constantly trying to say, listen to this song, it's like a 30-minute song. It would be 3 minutes if it was played at regular speed, but it's been slowed down to a 30-minute song. I want thrash.
Well,
I'm a headbanger. I'm not I have listened to a lot of Doom and sludge. I know Ohm. I know High on Fire. I know fucking Sleep and Electric Wizard. I've listened to a lot of the greats, and I did like the Thou stuff, but I need constant shredding, like a mile a minute riffs. I can't really let anybody sit and relax when I have my metal going on.
Well, that's the beauty of metal. There's something for everybody.
Right.
I was just making sure. I didn't know how familiar you were with them, especially with a lot of their message, lyric wise.
My
anti-authority, anarchist kind of DIY kind of shit. So
I like that.
That's the reason why. And it was really a goof, hey Brett, listen to this, But I'm a total fan, and I'm glad that people have kind of looked for them and kind of listened to some in the last couple weeks or whatever. So.
Yeah. My group was Panopticon. I like that. I listen to them in quiet times, or sometimes just want to turn on something epic for a while. That's a group. But I will get to Thou eventually. But right now, I really need like more shreds per minute than anybody else can deliver. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Austin from Panopticon last year at Northwest Terror Fest, trying to get I talked to him, and then I messaged Tom from Trillbillies. Like, I think that was a natural match for one of their episodes. That Austin's originally from Kentucky. He, that whole album.
Yeah.
He has an album called Kentucky about the plight of the miners and all that stuff. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a perfect cool deal to do, but that's just my stupid idea. So
no, that's not a bad idea. Honestly, I'm gonna put a pin in it. I want to make it work out. Me and Tom have a lot of musical crossover stuff that I would love to make into some sort of series where we can dive into that stuff, because it's like we're both super fans, and like in the good way. Like, we don't make music. Like, I've never seen Tom try to pick up a guitar and play music. He just knows the fucking He knows the finest music. He just knows good music when he hears it, the same way that I have like a gut feeling about stuff. So, yeah, I would love to get that rolling.
Austin from Panopticon is total nice dude. You go up to him in the show, he'll fucking talk to you like he's known you all your life.
Perfect.
So it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Tracy. We appreciate it. We got a couple more calls
peace
to
out,
take.
y'all.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. That's that Texas goodbye. All right, you ready to? How many more do you got in you?
I got 5 minutes.
Whoa. All right.
How many we got?
I don't even know if that's enough for one.
Hey, is this me?
You would have only you would know.
Hello,
really.
is this me?
Yeah,
only you would know.
Only you would know. Really. Who is me? A rose by any other name, would it smell as sweet? Right?
I didn't know what that fucking means.
Shakespeare shit.
You there, buddy?
Hey, it is you. Sorry, we had to validate his existence before he could take the call. Yes,
yeah,
you're
it's
here.
you.
Yep.
Hey, awesome. Long time, first time, and all that stuff. I just want to talk about my job and what's going on with the virus.
Yeah.
So I work for it's like a beer distributor, and I'm a merchandiser. So I basically work out of my car, and I go to a bunch of different, grocery stores and liquor stores, and I fill the shelves. And we had a staff meeting this past week, and they're basically saying, we don't really know what's going to happen, so just sell as much beer as you can, and that's our only plan. And then they sent out this letter that was like, we want to, reassure everyone in the company that we're doing everything we can. We're, disinfecting all the keyboards in the office.
Uh-huh.
But I don't ever go to the office. Like, all I do is work out of my car. So it was just really frustrating that, they're focused on, the people that do the higher up stuff, and all these people, like half the company is, out on the road doing their thing, and they're not really providing anything for us. And it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's I have to say, on my end of things, I am wondering, like, the people that have to restock the grocery store, what is their job circumstance going to be like? But you're somebody that goes in and like checks on the beer product and makes sure it's like faced the same way, or sets up like a cardboard stand or something.
Right. Yeah. So I go through and I make sure all the shelves are full. And, I go to all these grocery stores, and I'm seeing all these grocery workers, and they just look run down, man. And I try and, say, hang in there, and, because I know what it's like. I'm out there with them, but it's rough. I just feel like, these grocery stores are really crazy. And, I don't really know what's gonna happen. The crazy thing that blows my mind is, like, I know the only way that my company is going to stop, sending people out there is if their like main rival competitor stops sending people out there.
No, the
like,
government.
it's
the government, really. It's only the government that would say,
Yeah.
like, you're not allowed to go in there and judge the beer.
Well, I'll say this. Something that I was hearing about the indie wrestling me and Brett were supposed to go to in Florida. And I'm not saying, I'm not ascribing this to them, but with a lot of big events and with some even businesses and stuff like that, if the insurance doesn't cover them just canceling, right? So the state has to cancel, or the venue has to cancel for them.
Yeah.
And then they can get covered. And that's sort of probably these beer places, or this place, they probably want the state to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
You know, because if they don't do that, then... I mean, it really is like I hate small business owners a lot. But they're going to get eaten alive by
Me
this.
too.
They're going to get eaten alive by this, though, too. And it's going to be sad. And I think we're going to see a lot of people lose the things that they work to build up over the time.
I mean, to be honest, Street Fight is running this way, and most small business tyrants are running a way where you're constantly like having a million plates in the air. And you're like robbing Peter to pay Paul most of the time, and the money that you have today is spent on making money tomorrow. Like, you're just hoping that you can spend enough money today to make enough money for tomorrow. So when all of a sudden, when they pull the fucking sheets out from under you, all of a sudden the tablecloth is yanked out. Like, you are left with not a lot to do. You know, like it's hard to make those decisions. And I'm not trying to side with anybody here, but that job, you have a very weird job. Someone in my family has a similar job. They work for a small produce provider, and they do quality control, where they basically, like you said, they're on an app, and they drive to grocery stores all day long, and they go to the grocery store and they report on the quality of the product at the grocery store. And that's not a gathering of 100 people, right? There's nothing to suggest those people shouldn't go to work or should stop what they're doing. But there's no money being made. That lettuce is all going, like, there's no reason to continue doing this very, it feels like a job that's just not necessary anymore, but you have to keep doing it because otherwise there's nothing else. Like, I don't know. There's until the government tells you can't do it, you have to legally do it in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, I love, believe me, I want people to keep drinking beer, and I want there to be beer on the shelf for them to buy. Like, I'm fully on board with that. But it's just wild to me that, the higher ups don't really seem like they're, worried about the people on the streets. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I don't really care that you're, disinfecting the keyboards in the office. That doesn't do shit for me and all the people that are out here doing the work.
Right. Yeah, like disinfect the office, send the beer to the store. We're going to be a little more lackadaisical on quality control right now. I'm not going to make a trip out there to check on the fucking beer that people want to buy.
Yeah.
It's probably fine. It's always been fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, I hope you get off, but yeah, I don't even know why I defend it. I didn't defend him. I just, like I said,
it's not
for
a
a guy
defense.
like me, for people like us who had money sunk into some things. I don't know. I don't think we're in trouble. I don't think me and Brett are in any kind of. Okay, me and Brett are in a lot of trouble money wise, and we're gonna be doing extra streams. And please subscribe to the Patreon and stuff. But I don't think we're going to be in super trouble, like this business is going to close down because of this. And the reason I think that is because we don't...
we can't be stopped.
Yeah, they can't
Our
turn
business
us off. We can do... Even if they do lockdown, me and Brett will be doing the show from our apartments. You know
Jason
what I mean?
can
Our houses.
remotely sign into my computer and then your computer and set up a stream. Even if we both had it and we're in bed, we could do a fucking show together.
Yeah, a show will keep happening. I think people are also going to be coming after entertainment and stuff like that too. And but I do, when I think about like I don't know, some guy that owns a liquor store that like the margins are really low.
Yeah.
And like every single day they have to make money so that they exist.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that that's going to be...
Restaurants
Restaurants are a good point. That's the one I've been concerned about.
You're selling things like you're selling something for $5 all day long, and all of a sudden people can't come. You know.
What's happening currently at Marriott is that they are. I got a secret tip off to Marriott.
Okay.
Right. That they're laying people off so that they can collect unemployment.
That's ugly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, it's a bit like Marriott International is a business that could run and just pay them, you know. And one of the things I found really ugly, really hideous, is that for the arena, well, there's a good thing and a bad part about this, but for the arenas in America, at least for a few, like, pro basketball players are paying the salaries of all the people that work there for 30 days, which that is the most beautiful thing in the world. These people are looked at as coddled athletes. Zion Williams is 19 years old, and he's paying the salaries of everybody at the place, at the arena, because people that work in live entertainment, including us, we're losing money. It's like things are bad right now in that department, and worrying about me and Brett, we got Patreon that comes in every month. We can tighten our belt. We can do whatever. But, like, worrying about somebody that doesn't have that, right? A stand-up comedian that doesn't have a Patreon.
Well, I mean,
travels, and the people that build the stages for rock concerts.
I mean, just talking about being a classy motherfucking business owner. If you're Mr. Marriott, freeze your pay. Go without nothing. It's like buying a round for the whole bar. Like, just flex it. Just pay. Just keep everybody around instead of fucking sending people out the door is such an ugly fucking move right now.
Especially to go get the unemployment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like unemployment's also a hard thing to do.
And it's half of what you were paying me, Mr. Marriott.
Yeah, but they don't pay taxes, I think. I don't think they take taxes out. I'm not sure. That was workman's
comp. My unemployment was never as nice as my paycheck.
Oh, I never got unemployment. All right, let's get this next one.
Did that guy hang up? Did that someone just die and turn into a skeleton?
That's fine.
Oh, no, hey,
Oh, goodbye. Now you're a skeleton.
Shit, we hung up on you. Sorry.
Fuck y'all.
All right.
Sorry.
We got 2 left.
I hate you now. We
ain't getting 3.
We're not getting 3?
Well, we shouldn't even do 1.
Let's do 1 and see how it goes. Maybe this is like the Walking Dead. That's a zombie. You ready to get
Hey,
done?
this is me.
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
This is Zeph from Indy.
Hey, Viz.
Hey, what's going on?
What's the name?
Zeph. It's like Jeff, but with a Z.
It's tight.
Zeph.
That's a good one.
Shit.
You know any Zeph?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I fucking
How old are you,
like
Zeph?
that.
Yeah, it's
How old are you,
difficult.
Zeph?
I'm 28.
Wow.
Is it one you made up? Like, is it?
No.
No. It's the name my mom gave me.
That's awesome, dude.
The full version is Zephon, but everybody calls me Zeph.
Holy shit!
I
I
was
worked
just
with a
calling
Zephon. I worked with a Zephon.
You could
I
have
get
called
it
him
now.
Zeph.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Zeph. That's a new age
Yeah.
shit. I love
Oh,
it.
cool. Yeah. It's a real Gen Z ass name. Even though
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
sound
millennial.
great. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. I was really just calling to kind of. Well, I was going to call last week. I had an opportunity, but I wanted to respect the sanctity of your ABCD show. Those are really
Yeah,
good.
I didn't want to flush you. I would
it's
never want to
actually-
flush a Zeph. How could you flush a Zeph down the toilet?
I'd actually be pissed off if Zeph called and then
Just,
later
like,
on
dunked him.
we dunked him in the toilet and then later found out we dunked somebody named Zeph.
Yeah, fucking rude.
Zeph, I'm going to tell you something about this call right now. And it's not going to be based on you, but there's definitely going to be a character in something we do for the TV show named Zeph now. You will hear your name, I
that's
promise.
awesome.
You will.
Yeah.
I promise.
I'm
you.
fucking honored.
You're our new muse.
I promise you will hear your name.
All right, that's fucking great. I will get on that. I don't know. It's been a fucking crazy day. I'm on vacation right now.
Where at?
Skiing, some bougie shit up in Wisconsin. But I just wanted to call, say I appreciate you guys. Fucking the election had been pissing me off, so I was gonna vent about liberals, but yeah, shit. I actually didn't expect to get through, so you guys kind of caught me off guard.
No, not a problem. Thanks for being here. So was this vacation pre-planned? Like
Yeah. We had it set up for a while. This is my first time having a job that actually gave me paid time off. It's nice.
Oh, cool.
But yeah.
So you're at a resort?
Yeah. I'm at a hotel. It's central Wisconsin. It's not fucking, chalets or anything like that.
Yeah. You're skiing though? Snowboarding?
Yeah. Skiing.
Which one? Skiing?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
2 sticks, not one.
For the whole weekend?
Yeah.
And so what's the turnout like? I mean, is there other like people just throwing the shaka and like running and gunning and fucking skiing and snowboarding? Is it like
no, it's pretty dead for
quiet?
Even for spring skiing. It's pretty quiet. Yeah.
Jesus, that sounds like a good idea to go.
Yeah. Go somewhere right now?
Yeah, let's go to the lodge.
Flights
let's
are
just hit the
cheap.
lodge. Fuck this fucking quarantine. Let's go to the lodge.
Yeah, we had planned out for a while. We were worried I don't know. We were going by road, so it wasn't going to be a issue of like the airports being closed or anything. They're not doing that yet, though.
Okay.
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds like you're ripping it out there.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm not, because we got our fucking stuff ready to go, and then my dad he's okay, but he had a heart attack right there.
At the
So
wait.
Yeah, so I'm kind of freaked out. I'm just in the hotel room taking care of the dog. Didn't get any skiing done today.
Wow, you were like calm as shit leading up to that.
Yeah.
I was ready to fly
I'm
away
also
on my
autistic,
Zephyr.
so it's kind of hard to tell when
Oh.
I'm freaked out.
Okay. So how recent was that?
That was today, like about noon.
So okay, but
Yeah,
he's
so
in good hands.
Yeah, he's in good hands. Apparently, this is one of the best places to have a heart attack. They've got a real top-notch cardiovascular unit, which I guess kind of makes sense, it being the Midwest and all.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of saturated fat that's consumed, lots of gravy on cheese, things like that.
Yeah, lots of fried things.
But I'm glad to hear he's in good hands, the best hands. That is
he's in
quite
good
the
hands.
experience.
There wasn't any damage to his heart or anything. Yeah, it was fucked up. I don't know how much I should. Yeah, I mean, I hear you guys swear all the time, but I can be pretty bad about it. So.
Oh no! Please, like
I mean,
try
Glenn
to make
swears too. Don't worry, because there's a 15-year-old in here.
try to make me blush.
Okay. Yeah, but so yeah, it was just fucking crazy. You know, we're getting ready to go, and then he sat down in the car like his chest was hurting, and then like he lost consciousness for a second, and that's when I called the ambulance. He was trying to be like, don't call an ambulance. I was like, dude, you just fucking like stopped talking to me and stared at your chest for 2 seconds while I was yelling your name at your face.
Yeah.
It's definitely an ambulance. It's
Yeah,
already
that's
on
the
the
time.
way. Yeah, I don't know. I guess my partner gets on me about that too. I won't admit when stuff's wrong with me.
Same here. Same
he
here.
gets all worried.
Do you remember? Did you watch I Think You Should Leave at all?
No. What is it? Is it a show? What is it?
It's a show on Netflix. They're only 15 minutes. It's a comedy show, but there's a sketch on it where a guy is eating dinner with a celebrity and a guy that he thinks is really cool, and he's choking on a meatball, but he won't admit that he's choking on the meatball, and it like keeps accelerating because he's trying to prove that he's not choking on a meatball, and it's like I identified with that guy so much. Like, I'm just a guy that's just like, nah, everything's fine, except for these chest pains and the sharp pain in my head that I have right now. Everything else is fine.
Yeah, we got that all good. He's squared away. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. I called in at the beginning of the show, but I got off the line when you went to the break.
Oh,
well,
so yeah, I called back
glad-
in, not
glad
really
we got-
expecting to get.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's happenstance. A lot of people
Yeah.
A lot of people are quarantined in their house, thinking the worst is going to happen to them, and they don't realize they could be on a winter vacation where their dad has a heart attack. So,
Yeah.
that's a wake up call.
Yeah, it was fucking something else. He finally quit smoking this year, but probably should have quit 20 years ago or just not started in the first place.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes it just feels good.
It's true. Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
we
well-
appreciate it. We got one more to go. Well, do you
Yeah.
have a Twitter or anything you want to shout out?
No, I just want to tell everyone to fucking become a douchebag member of a leftist organization and never trust liberals. They're class enemies. That's all.
All right, makes
Yeah,
sense.
Gwen, join a left organization, but don't trust
the
libs.
liberals. They're lying to you every time. This
When
is
you
what we've
should-
learned. Because even with Bernie Sanders' campaign, the entire time we knew that they do not want us to be a part of their thing. They think that they know better about our lives. They think they can control us. They're just mistaken on everything.
Make a leftist club at school.
You should.
Fucking make it a good, cool, fucking hip Zoomer
Can't
name.
control who comes.
You
Sure.
shouldn't. Yeah, we can't control who comes to our shows either, and we have to pay for that.
Yeah, I think it would be
We have to
neat
deal with that.
if you made if you went and looked up, because the Zoomers, also Doomers, they're called
There's
sometimes.
Are you a Zoomer or a Doomer?
Zoomer.
You're a Zoomer.
Zoomer.
I
Yeah,
love that.
she's not
I
a
like that
Doomer.
positive attitude.
No, PMA.
We got that attitude.
Yeah.
One more to go. You ready?
Yeah, let's do
One
it.
call.
Vic Rattlefuck.
Vic Rattlehead on the line. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hi there. My name is David. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Howdy, David. Are things going well in your neck of the woods?
I am. I'm sorry. What was that?
Are things going well in your neck of the woods?
Well, up until recently, things were going pretty well. I follow Governor Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, on Twitter and stuff, and and I feel like every now and again, I see a new update saying hey, 20 new cases have been confirmed in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time I checked, it's getting close to triple digits.
Well,
I
here's
can't
the thing. They're not. I mean, in Ohio, they said 100,000 as a guess.
Speculated.
Because they said about 1% of us have it. So 100,000 people in all of Ohio. And what I think about when I'm going along with my daily life is that I see 6 people at the most in any given day. So, I mean, but the thing is, I do worry about cashiers and people who are working with this stuff because, people go to work late, and if they're asymptomatic, then they could just go to work and give it to somebody else. Me and Brett saw a woman who was a little bit older, and she was the cashier at Target, and it was she shouldn't. She was clearly rattled, and she shouldn't have been working there. She should have been home being paid. Also, just coincidentally, we had to buy something in the electronics section. There's a little button that says "Press it for help."
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna fucking see if this can get it done, because it was somebody will be here within 60 seconds, and I was like, damn, somebody's gonna get here in 60 seconds. I'm gonna time it, and I wasn't gonna complain if they weren't there in 60 seconds. And in my mind, I figured they were probably going to be their way faster than 60 seconds. And so I did the timer, and it was 32 or 33 seconds. But the sad thing about it was when the guy got there, we could hear over his walkie-talkie telling me he only had 15 seconds left to get there. So I was like,
God.
It was like, they were like, help termination in 15 seconds. It sounded like some calling, like it was a robotic voice telling them they had 15 seconds to get this thing or else they're in trouble.
Yeah, it was crazy to hear.
My God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez. Yeah. So I was kind of calling in because, it's funny that you say you mentioned like asymptomatic people. Very recently, I've kind of been developing like this kind of nasty cough, and even more recently, I don't know. I've just kind of been feeling like these weird kind of just like slight little pains, or just like basically just like some weird feeling in my chest, kind of, especially when I cough. And so like, I mean, I don't know. It's like nothing too serious at this point, anyway. But also, I'm like pretty young, and I don't have any major health issues. I'm not really too worried about myself. I am, however, more worried about my coworkers. I should mention I work at a Amazon warehouse. Here in Jersey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So a lot of people. There are a lot of elderly people actually that I work with at my particular. Excuse me.
Yeah.
At my warehouse, and I mean, it's just like a little bit of a suspicion that like I have something, like, who knows, I don't have a fever or anything like that, but really, honestly, we should all be fucking we should all be inside. Really, we should be inside as much as we possibly can.
Or I think alone. I've been taking my walks, but I'm like, I don't get within 6 feet of any other humans while I'm out. There's almost nobody out anyway.
It's hard to square this thing because we can't have a shutdown of all supply lines. Like, I think people would start going bonkers if their grocery store, if no one started delivering stuff to them. People are relying, like, I've seen Alexander from Minion Death Cult. He took a day off because he'd been working like 13-hour days the last few days because everyone's just ordering things like that. What really we lack is like an ability where I would do a shift of delivering packages. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I feel like if you gave me a manifest, I could just make sure the packages got to people. There's no way to distribute the amount of exposure that we have. For Brian and I, we're just content creators, so we can stay inside our house. But for people that rely on their income as like in the logistics arena, whether it be like the making of food or delivering of products or customer service, like you're going to be at a constant risk of this, and there's no way to make that, to reward them or to have that burden be shared amongst like the rest of us, you know?
I mean, yeah, sure. It's definitely complicated, and like, as you're saying, like my line of work, wherein we're shipping things to people. I'd probably feel a lot better if we were like maybe focusing a lot on like delivering like important things like medicine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like a lot of things that people order on Amazon are like a bunch of dumb bullshit.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it should be, they could pare it down to light work where you only had an hour or two of delivering things like TP and toothpaste and like you know, daily use items or food.
We're still delivering like a bunch of we've actually been given like more and more work. Like we're at like
Well,
she's wrapped like
I mean,
like an olive
well,
oil.
to be honest, I ordered a shirt and a pair of shoes this week.
The thing about people that are used to going out into the world and wasting all of their money, they're sitting there looking at their bank account and they're like, how am I going to spend this money?
Yeah.
So they're going online and ordering things off of Amazon that they don't fucking need. They're ordering just, organizing bins. They're having shit flown to them that they wouldn't need otherwise, but they can't get out there and spend their money elsewhere, That's how I feel. I've tried not to order too much, but definitely the temptation is there.
I mean, I've hardly ordered anything from Amazon in my entire life. I'm kind of an anomaly, I guess, in that regard.
Yeah, you're cooler than us. You're one of those people that used to not have a TV back in the day and made everyone else feel guilty as hell.
No, I don't mean it like that.
No, I don't. I'm celebrating you as like the person we should all be.
Brett, yeah, he does really celebrate that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm just recording podcasts. That's all I'm gonna fucking do is record podcasts. That's my plan.
We're gonna post our way out of this thing.
We're gonna post our way out of this thing. So pay attention to what we're up to, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks. I usually only catch these things like kind of towards the end. I find.
Yeah, we're always
night owl.
Well, no, get on the air towards the end.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you'll get us at the beginning sometime. I'll tell you what. If you message me, I'll push you up early if you call in earlier.
Okay, that's the deal.
All right, that sounds great. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for calling in. Peace. All right, last call of the night. How was that, Gwen? It must have sucked being on your phone, right?
Well, she doesn't care what we talk about. Yeah,
we were trying to have a conversation here. We were trying to include young people in our conversation.
But she doesn't really care, though.
That doesn't interest you, right?
I conversated earlier.
Yeah, you
did. I thought she was great.
I think you did a great job.
Look at him standing up for me.
No, you did. But
I will always stand up for you.
Staring at that phone, and your dad stares at his phone too. We were on live stream last night. Your dad was staring at his goddamn phone.
Yeah, he does.
I do that sometimes.
You're doing the job. You gotta do the job for these people. It
feels like I need to learn you want to do this on like the air? I
guess? Let's do it. Let's go to overtime.
Well, we're not answering.
We got Gwen now. Yeah. It's overtime.
I think when we're streaming games, we should put more effort into also being like overtly entertaining.
Sure.
And like telling jokes and stuff, and not so singularly focused on beating the game.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So last night I was like, well, let's try to add some material.
I'm saying you were also on your phone.
I was on my phone. Yeah, for sure. But it's because I tried to do content a few times, and I kind of got cut off, and I was just like, I'll talk when it's my turn.
Because you're being too loud?
That wasn't the time. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I honestly, you did nothing wrong. I'm saying that, like, there were times where I was maybe about to kind of try to get into a bit or get into something funny that, like, it was like everybody just talked and stopped it from happening.
Yeah.
But I think we should be trying to do stuff like that.
Okay. So, Gwen, what was the most awkward moment of the call-in show tonight for you? There was a couple for me, but I just want to know what comes to...
Can I just say it?
Yeah,
they're going to hear it.
Who?
The people. Do I say their name?
Oh, did you have to say it about a caller?
Yes.
The most awkward part of the podcast.
More than what anything your dad said tonight was more like
Do you have one? What's
talk
yours?
Like that all the time.
What's yours? You go first. If I need to know what
I mean,
the
we fucking are very open
I need to
people
know
and
what the premise is.
I don't know if it was the.
So go ahead.
I don't know if it was. I mean, yeah, it's two things for me. I mean, it's very common. I don't know how to handle it, but I guess you were fine with it. You thought the collars were awkward. The nudity or the drugs, one of the two was like, for me, was just like really made me want to leave this universe.
But we talk about that stuff like as a normal, in a normal conversation. I'm sorry, I won't.
No,
I won't bring
I'm
that
not.
kind of stuff to the show. That's just we talk, we joke around a lot.
Okay, okay.
You know, she's old enough that
I was asking Gwen actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't have one that stood out to me.
Okay.
I can't.
All right. What was the most awkward caller then? Fuck that person. Let's roast somebody.
I don't want to do it.
Who was the
Brett.
most awkward caller?
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't make
Well, you
me
had
look
an
bad,
awkward
Brett.
moment in mind. I had another one. Yeah, but it's fine. I appreciate everybody that tuned into Street Fight Radio. That is the call-in show for the week. You can find us on StreetFightRadio.com and on Patreon.com/StreetFightRadio. Also on all social media, Street Fight WCRS, or on Twitch, where Street Fight Radio. We'll see you on Wednesday. You can also subscribe to Twitch.tv, the Street Fight Radio on Twitch, where we do some video game streaming. We've been trying to raise money for mutual aid funds here in Columbus. So that's happening over there. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace. What?
Well, we're still on the air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe on Friday night we'll put up a donation link to help us with some of the money that we're losing from not doing our live shows, and we'll put on something fun for you. Well, we'll play a game, but I'll make it fun this time, I promise. Maybe even get some guests.